Act 1, Part 1 of Charley's Aunt by Brandon Thomas. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Charley's Aunt, a play in 3 acts by Brandon Thomas. Produced at the Royalty Theatre, London on December 21st, 1892. Transferred to the Globe Theatre. Original London run, 4 years. Cast of characters.
Stephen Spettigue.
Solicitor, Oxford.
Read by phone.
Colonel Sir Francis Chesney, Baronet, late Indian Service. Read by Larry Wilson.
Jack Chesney, graduate at St. Olde's College, Oxford. Read by Tom Daly.
Charley Wykeham, graduate at St. Oaks College, Oxford. Read by Wolfgang BasLORD.
Lord Fancourt Babberley, graduate at St. Olde's College, Oxford. Read by Thomas Peter.
Brassett, a college scout. Read by Todd.
ToddHWDONNA-LUCIA D'ALVADOREZ, from Brazil. Read by Sonia.
SoniaAMY Spettigue.
Spettigue's niece.
Read by Leanne YauKITTY
Verdun, Spettigue's ward. Read by Beth Thomas.
Ella Delahaye. Read by T.J. Burns.
Stage directions read by Devorah Allen. Oxford, 1892. Act 1. Scene. Interior of Jack Chesney's rooms, St. Olde's College, Oxford. Morning. The walls are oak-panelled, or half-panelled, or plain cream-washed walls with beautiful, low heraldic ceiling in cream, picked out in color and dull gold. Door opening off, with passage backing, leading to outer door left. Door opening off to bedroom, with light backing, up left. Between doors an oak sideboard, with cupboard underneath. Large opening and recess with portière to draw left centre. Long stone-mullioned embayed window right centre, with view of quad and practicable centre casement, to open off, window seat with 4 river cushions and 1 magazine. Long red rep fabric curtains. Upright piano centre, with pile of music on top between window and recess. Fireplace right, looking-glass, etc. on mantel, low bookcases right and left of it. Saddleback armchair by fire, with white antimacassar. Table centre with ashtrays and books, and table cover in dark material on it, with 2 single chairs right and left of it, with sweater over back of left chair. Writing table down right centre by fire, with ABC timetable, magazine, and Corona cigar box. Stage cloth. Circular hat stand inside right centre corner of recess, with boxing gloves, single sticks, etc. on it. Plaster bust of Plato on pedestal left corner of room, angle. Clock and photographs of chorus girls and flowers on mantel shelf, more photographs and books on top of bookcases, pipes, tobacco jars, etc. Prints on walls above. Tray with 3 tumblers, 1 square decanter half full of whiskey, 1 glass jug of water on sideboard, 4 champagne bottles, 1 bottle of claret, open, in sideboard cupboard. Above, on wall left, groups of rowing 8s, football teams. 6 dining room chairs arranged as follows. 2 right and left of centre table, 1 below door left, 1 at piano, 1 left side of writing table, 1 top right corner by window. Antique furniture, well-worn comfortable chairs. Quad seen through window, and sunlight streams in through window. Curtain music. The Eton Boating Song, by A.D.E.W. Orchestra plays first 16 bars with gradual crescendo. Curtain starts to rise. Orchestra plays next 16 bars more softly, with gradual diminuendo, till music ceases at full rise of curtain. Jack discovered seated at writing table, unlit pipe in mouth, struggling wildly to write a letter. He looks at letter, and tears it up. Jack Chesney, tall, dark, good-looking, about 22, wears light-colored lounge suit and college tie, Leander pink and white diagonal stripes. He laughs his way through life, is self-confident, quick, alert, and must have drive, as he sets the pace of the play.
I can't get into the vein.
Flings down pen.
I don't know what to say, don't know how to begin. I wish to goodness I'd spoken to her at the dance the other evening.
Rises, to centre.
When she told me they were all going away for the summer. Instead, I've gone and left everything till the very last minute, and now I'm regularly nonplussed. By George, I know what I'll do. I'll make an exercise of it. I'll write it out 12 different ways and send the one I think looks the best.
Goes back to table and sits. Takes up pen.
So come on, Jack. Here we are, in love with the dearest girl on earth. Tackle her like a man, and tell her so, or they'll be off north, you'll be gone down, and have lost your chance for ever. She's my fate, and I'm hanged if I shan't be hers. So here goes.
Writing.
My darling.
Stops.
Rather strong, perhaps, to begin with.
Tears up paper, places on left of writing table, begins again.
My dear Miss Verdun.
Stops again.
No, too formal, and not a bit what I really feel.
Tears that up.
My dear... Hang it, why not?
Writes boldly.
My dear Kitty. That's grand.
Brassett enters quietly, door up left, to table centre. Brassett, college scout, manservant, between 40 and 50 years of age. Wears dark trousers and short dark grey alpaca coat, white collar and dark tie. He is always polite and never familiar in his manner.
Now I can go ahead like a house on fire.
Looking proudly at letter.
My dear Kitty,
I beg pardon, sir, but would you mind?
Yes, very much. Go away. I'm busy.
Yes, sir, but...
I'm busy with the most important affair. Get out.
Brassett, raising book or two off table and hesitating.
Yes, sir.
Jack, aside.
Just as I'd made such a good start, too.
At letter again.
My dear Kitty.
Brassett calmly drops books back onto table.
What are you doing, Brassett? Confound it all. What do you want?
I merely wish to say, sir, that I have laid out a few things which...
All right, thank you. Get out and leave me alone.
Which I thought you wouldn't care to...
Jack, in despair.
Take 'em, keep 'em. Take every blessed rag I've got. Only go away.
Brassett goes to door, up left. Jack at letter again, savagely.
My dear Kitty.
Brassett at door.
Beg pardon, sir?
Confound it, I wasn't addressing you. Go away.
Exit Brassett up left quickly. Enter Charley, left, with letter. Come centre. Charles Wykeham is about 20, good-looking, medium height, fair, Saxon type, charming, and though shy is not awkward. Rowing type, wears white flannels, blazer and muffler, cheap watch and breast pocket of blazer, with short chain hanging out. For later entrance with telegram, has changed blazer for a lounge suit coat, removed muffler, and wears a collar and tie.
My dear Kitty.
Charley, mildly.
I say.
Jack, throwing down pen, jumping up savagely.
If you don't clear out, Brassett,
Meets Charley centre.
Oh, it's you, Charley. What is it, old chap?
Nothing, Jack. I don't want to interrupt you if you are busy.
Going. Jack, going centre.
It's all right, Charley, don't go. It's only that fool Brassett.
What's he doing?
Only bagging all my clothes because I'm going down, and worrying me like old Harry while I'm trying to write a most important letter.
Moving towards table right.
Don't mind me today. I'm nervous and naggy and nonplussed.
Sits on end of table right centre.
And so am I, Jack.
Why?
I've been trying to write a letter to...
A letter? To whom?
To Miss Pettigue.
Jack, going to Charley centre.
How far have you got?
Charley, brightening.
Oh, I began awfully well, but I didn't want to be too distant, and I didn't like to be too...
Familiar. Well?
So I just said, "My dear Amy," and then words failed me, and I've come to you for advice. You always know what to say and do.
Jack, dubiously, with a look towards letter.
Oh, do I?
You know my idiotic complaint. I'm shy, and you're not.
Aren't I?
So prescribe for me, old chap. What am I to say?
Turning away left, sits right corner of table center. Jack, going right center, aside.
A good idea. I'll prescribe for him and take the medicine myself.
Sits at writing table, right, gets paper, etc. Energetically.
Now then, let's see. You're in love with Amy Spettigue, and you want to know if there's any hope for you, and if so...
You see, they're all off to Scotland tomorrow.
Yes, I know, and you want to see her at once. When and where? Bearer waits. Do I diagnose the case accurately?
To a T, old chap.
Very well, then. You'll want to say something to this effect.
Writing.
My dear Kitty.
Stops dead. Charley, going to him, writing table, right center.
No, not Kitty. Amy.
Oh, of course. What am I thinking of?
Tears up paper, takes fresh sheet. In casual, glib tone, writing.
My dearest Amy, forgive me, darling, for thus addressing you, but I love you so deeply, underlined.
Charley, surprised, moving nearer, interrupting.
Rather strong, Jack.
Shut up. So earnestly, also underlined.
Oh, I say.
Turning away, center.
That I must write and tell you so. All I ask is...
Charley sits, table center.
But there is one obstacle to my putting it quite as straight as that, much as I'd like to.
What's that?
Well, I have an aunt.
My dear Charley, most of us have. What about her?
I feel I ought to tell her first.
Jack flings down pen, rises and goes to fireplace.
Oh, if you're going to drag an aunt into the business, we may as well wait till they all come back from Scotland.
Why?
You know what Auntie is when she steps in.
No, I don't. That's just it. I don't know her. I never even seen her.
Well, we won't be too hard on that aunt. She hasn't interfered much in your affairs up to now.
Well, except to find out that I was an orphan and have me sent to Eton and to Oxford, and now my guardian writes to me that she's coming here this morning by an early train and will take a luncheon with me at 1 o'clock.
Jack, coming down to back of chair left of writing table.
And you've never seen her?
No, she went out to Brazil when I was born, and became a sort of secretary to a very rich old Brazilian chap out there called Dom Pedro d'Alvadorez. And now, by the merest accident in the world...
Taking truth from pocket and pointing to marked paragraph.
I've seen this.
Gives Jack paper. Jack, going down right. Note, Lucia is pronounced Lucia, Portuguese, not Spanish. Reading.
Madam, or rather, Donna Lucia d'Alvadorez, the Brazilian millionaire, who has taken Lord Toppleby's magnificent mansion in Belgravia, is an English woman of genial disposition and a financial genius. Indeed, it was her capacity in this direction that earned the gratitude of her late husband and led to a romantic deathbed marriage.
To Charley.
Well, I don't see much in that.
Offering paper back.
Go on, Jack. Read the next.
Jack, reading.
Her only relation is a nephew at Oxford. Lucky nephew.
That's me.
By George, Charley, this is a startler.
Throws paper to Charley.
And she may be here any minute.
Goes to mantelpiece, looks at clock.
I've met all the trains up to now. I wish she'd have come some other day.
Rises, moves away down left a little. Jack, turning, looks at clock.
She'll arrive by the next, just in time for lunch.
Charley, dolefully.
Yes, it's a bore. I wanted to write that letter to Amy.
Jack sits on table right center, thinking.
I don't know so much about that.
But it's an awfully difficult letter to write. Fearfully complicated.
Why?
Well, you see, I've no people or anything.
No people with an aunt like that?
Pointing to paper which is in Charley's hand.
But I have no reason to expect anything from her, more than she has already done for me, for which, of course, I am very grateful, and all that. But I want to see Amy, and put it to her that if...
Jack, suddenly, coming center to Charley.
Charley, I've got a clinking good idea.
Charley, pushing Jack towards writing table, gratefully.
Jack, you're a good chap. Write it down and I will copy it out.
Jack, stopping him.
No, not for you, for me, for us both. You're gone on Amy, I'm in love with Kitty.
Really? Jack?
Madly, worse than anything I ever took up, even cricket. I was writing to tell her so when you came in.
Pointing.
There's the letter.
Charley, wringing Jack's hand with effusion.
I'm so glad. And what's your idea?
Hang letter writing. We'll give a luncheon party for your aunt. Tea afterwards in the garden.
In the garden?
Yes, I'll get leave.
But my rooms are so small.
Never mind, I'll lend you mine.
Pushing Charley towards writing table chair, center.
Brassett shall see to it.
Calling towards left.
Brassett?
To Charley.
Now come on. First we'll ask the girls.
Ask the girls?
Standing behind writing table. Jack, by chair left of writing table.
To meet your aunt.
What about old Spettigue?
Blow old Spettigue.
Oh, I forgot. He's up in town for a few days on business.
Sits at writing table.
So much the better. Brassett.
Do you think they will come?
They'll jump at it.
What makes you think so?
Well, what do you think?
Why, Jack, you know, I rather agree with you.
We'll send a note at once. You write it. Go ahead.
Charley writes to dictation.
My dear Miss Spettigue.
Calling.
Brassett, where are you?
Brassett up left and comes down left of Jack.
Where are you?
Turns. Sees Brassett standing left.
Oh, Brassett, get someone to take a note to Mr. Spettigue's.
Yes, sir.
Exit left.
Yes, Jack, I've got that.
Jack gets envelope, pen, and book to write on.
Would you and Miss Verdun?
Puts foot on chair left of writing table, and puts cigar box on knee to write on.
Do me the honor.
Charley repeating.
The honor.
To lunch with me and Mr. Chesney.
Mr. Chesney?
I'll address the envelope.
Charley, still repeating, while dipping pen in ink.
I'll address the...
Jack breaking in before Charley can write it.
No, not that, you muff. At his rooms, St. Old's College, today at 1 o'clock.
Addressing envelope.
Miss Spettigue.
Miss...
About to write. Jack stops him before he writes.
No, look out. To meet my aunt... what did you say her name was, Charley?
Donna-LUCIA D'ALVADOREZ.
Donna. All right, stick it down. An answer by bearer will greatly oblige.
Blots envelope. Charley writing.
Yours sincerely, Charles Wykeham.
Blots and folds letter.
Splendid, Jack. You're a genius.
Hands letter to Jack. Jack takes letter, puts it in envelope, and closes it.
It's a glorious opportunity. They're off to Scotland.
And we're off down.
And now we shall have them all to ourselves.
Re-enter Brassett, left.
The messenger, sir.
Jack gives letter to Brassett.
Give him that, and tell him to look sharp.
Turns back slowly to Charley.
Yes, sir.
Going left. At door, quick glance at address on envelope. Smiles, and exits left. Jack, returning to table, takes up torn letters.
This sort of thing is not to be settled by correspondence.
Tears up letters, gives fragments to Charley, who puts them into paper basket.
No, and we shall have them all to ourselves.
Yes, and we couldn't have asked them if it hadn't been for your aunt. I'm beginning to love that dear old lady already.
Calling.
Brassett?
Re-enter Brassett, left.
Yes, sir.
Lunch for 5.
For how many, sir?
For 5.
Going to him.
For 5, sir.
Laughs quietly. Charley rises and goes over to them. Jack to Brassett.
What are you laughing at?
Well, sir, I'm afraid our credit in the kitchen is somewhat exhausted.
Jack to Brassett.
Oh, is it?
Turning to Charley.
How are you off for tick, Charley?
Well, Jack, I'm afraid my guardian's rather...
Oh, is he? Never mind, Brassett. Get it outside. Go to Bunter's.
Brassett, shaking head doubtfully.
I'm afraid, sir, we owe Bunters.
Oh, do we?
Turns to Charley and sees his watch chain.
Charley, you don't mind.
Takes watch and chain off Charley.
It'll be all right when my cheque comes.
Gives them to Brassett.
Here you are, Brassett. Do the best you can with that.
Brassett taking them and looking at watch critically.
This is no good, sir. I couldn't get anything on this, sir.
Hands it back to Jack.
However, sir, I've no doubt it will be all right at Bunter's, if I say it's for me.
Goes behind table center. Charley goes to chair left of writing table and sits. Jack laughing.
Oh, all right, Brassett. Lunch for 5 at 1 o'clock.
Goes down left. Brassett looks at own gold watch.
Rather short notice, sir.
Takes books off table center and puts them on sideboard left.
All right. Long pay. Go where you like. Do what you like. Only lunch for 5 at 1.
Putting watch and chain in his own waistcoat pocket. Crossing to Charley.
That's all right, Charley, isn't it?
Charley to Jack.
I say, Jack.
Taking watch and chain.
That's my watch.
I beg your pardon, old chap. My mistake.
Brassett at sideboard.
What wine, sir?
Champagne.
Brassett sulkily.
Very little left, sir.
Open sideboard.
6 bottles.
Brassett imperturbably.
No, sir, I think not.
Getting out 4 from sideboard cupboard.
Only 4, sir.
Puts them on sideboard.
Oh, quite enough.
Jack to Brassett aggressively.
6, I'll swear.
Pardon me, sir, only 4 of champagne.
Puts them on table center.
And I think...
Taking out bottle of opened claret.
Yes, 1 of claret.
Holding it up.
Oh, hang that claret.
Brassett puts it on sideboard.
It's been open a month. All right.
Aside to Charley.
He sneaked those other 2 bottles. He's a corker.
Brassett comes down left center.
My fellow's just the same.
Jack gives ferocious glance at Brassett, who returns it imperturbably.
They all are.
Brassett exits left.
Now, while you and your dear old aunt are looking at the chapel and the cloisters, Kitty and I can have our little talk.
Yes, Jack, that's all very well. But what about Amy and me and our little talk? She'll be in our way horribly.
I never thought of that.
She's all very well as an excuse to get the girls to come here. But by herself, she'll be an awful bore.
She'll be worse than that. She'll be a brute of a nuisance.
Sits on table center.
And what shall we do?
Well, Napoleon went over the Alps on horseback, and I've been under them by train, so there must be a way out of this.
But how? Can we ask someone to meet her?
Yes, someone we can depend upon.
Re-enter Brassett left. Busies himself at sideboard.
But whom?
Jack sees Brassett. Aside to Charley.
What about Brassett? He's a pompous sort of chap, and as artful as a corkscrew. Can't we turn him into a don or something for the day?
Charley dubiously.
Yes, that's a good idea, Jack. But...
Jack, after another look at Brassett.
No, won't do. We shall want him to wait at table.
Oh, of course. So we shall.
There's Freddie Peel.
Oh, he's such a cynical chap.
Brassett exits through recess up left. Jack sits again on table center.
Besides, he'd neglect your aunt.
Yes, and want to make love to our girls.
Jack suddenly.
By George, I've got it. Babs! Fanny Babs, we'll ask him.
Oh, yes. Why didn't we think of him before?
He's a jolly, cheerful little chap. Will amuse your aunt like the deuce, and keep her in a rattling good humour.
Charley comes to Jack.
Splendid.
Brassett.
Brassett re-enters, comes down left center.
Yes, sir?
Go to Lord Fancourt Babberley's rooms, give him my compliments, and ask him to come here at once.
Yes, sir.
Goes to door left. Charley crossing left to Brassett.
Si, it's very important.
Brassett as he goes.
Yes, sir.
Exits left. Jack shouting after Brassett.
And very immediate.
Brassett speaks off.
Yes, sir.
Jack crossing to fireplace.
And while Babs is doing gooseberry with your aunt, we can have our chat with the girls.
Charley sits on table center.
By the by, Jack, talking of Bab's cheerfulness, haven't you noticed something about him lately? Ever since he was so ill and had to go off to the Mediterranean?
I've noticed he's been jolly hard up.
Sits in chair back of writing table.
I fancy from a few hints he dropped to me that he's a bit hard hit himself.
What? Babs in love?
Yes, and if I'm not much mistaken, he's as soft-hearted over a girl as...
We are. All the better. He'll feel for us. He'll see the necessity then of keeping the old lady well out of the way.
By George, Jack, you'll be Prime Minister one of these days.
Re-enter Brassett, left.
His lordship's compliments, sir, and he says he can't come. He has a luncheon party. And could you lend him a few bottles of champagne?
Jack rising.
Lend him a few bottles of champagne. Well, of all the cheek.
Charley seated on center table.
Who's he got coming?
Jack, right center, angrily.
Oh, Freddie Peel and a lot of idiots like himself, I expect. And they'll be howling comic songs all the afternoon.
Yes. It'll sound awfully bad, won't it?
He mustn't.
Crossing left center to Brassett.
Here, Brassett, lay for 6.
Comes to Charley.
Yes, sir.
Gets to back of table center. Moves books to piano at back.
What shall we do?
Going to Jack. Jack at door left, taking Charley with him.
Come on, we'll go to him. We must make him come. He can't upset all our plans in this selfish way.
Puts Charley across to left. To Brassett.
Put that champagne in ice, Brassett, and tidy up my room. Come on, Charley, come on.
Exeunt Charley, propelled by Jack, left. Brassett, annoyed.
1 o'clock.
Looks helplessly at watch.
Put room in order first. Always the way.
Opens windows wider. Picks up book from window seat.
Hurry, scurry, no time for anything. They come with a bang, they go with a bang. Everything with a bang, except pay their bills with a bang.
At door up left, looking at champagne ruefully.
Well, I did think that little perquisite was safe. Upon my word, I did.
Exits up left. Lord Fancourt calling off right.
Jack. I say, Jack, old man.
Lord Fancourt Babberley. He is small, about 5'3" to 5'6" at most. Good-looking, humorous face, smartly dressed in light grey peppercorn suit, with waistcoat and black elastic-sided boots. He only removes his coat when he gets into the aunt's dress. The suit must be light to show up well against the black petticoat and its elastic braces. The essential thing to bear in mind when he is impersonating the aunt is that Lord Fancourt has never acted in his life before, or worn women's clothes. He still walks, talks, and moves like a man, and never attempts to act the woman. No effeminate female impersonation business. He tries to lighten his voice when he is first introduced, and it cracks appallingly. After that he speaks naturally, but being careful not to use the deep tones of his voice except to Jack, Charley, and Brassett, who know who he really is, or again when he forgets he is supposed to be a woman. He just looks a nice old lady of the Victorian era. Lord Fancourt Babberley appears at window up right centre, carrying large Gladstone bag. Climbing in at window.
Where the dickens are you?
Looks hurriedly in bedroom up left.
I wanted to borrow some fizz.
Goes to cabinet left.
I wonder where they keep it.
Turns and sees champagne on centre table.
Hello! By George, the very thing.
Puts bag on table and opens it. Starts wrapping up first bottle with antimacassar from chair right.
Serves him right. He shouldn't leave it about.
Puts first bottle in bag.
In this ostentatious way.
Puts second bottle in bag, wrapping third bottle with another antimacassar or scarf from chair left.
When I'm so beastly hard up.
Puts third bottle in bag.
Won't they be jolly waxy?
Puts fourth bottle in bag and closing bag.
That's a bottle apiece.
Comes centre with bag.
And they must make out with whiskey and soda.
Going left. Enter Jack and Charley left. They meet Lord Fancourt at door and bring him back to centre. Charley left of him, Jack right of him.
Hello, Babs.
Takes bag from Lord Fancourt, puts it on table centre.
We've just been over to your rooms to find you. We've been talking about you.
No, really?
To Jack.
I say, how do you think I'm looking?
Splendid, old chap.
Yes, I thought you'd be pleased with me.
Takes bag and bolts towards left.
Well, ta-ta.
Charley stops him at door left. They bring him back as before. Jack takes bag from Lord Fancourt and puts it on table centre.
Don't go, Babs. You wanted to see us, didn't you?
All three down centre as before.
Oh, yes. I wanted to borrow some fizz, but...
Sorry, I can't. I could have spared you a couple of bottles, but that fool Brassett...
I know. My fellow's just the same. There's no reasoning with him, is there? Well, ta-ta.
Makes a feint to bolt. Jack and Charley miss him and land on centre table over bag. Lord Fancourt grins. Jack comes down right to Lord Fancourt centre.
I looked you up last night, Babs, but you were out.
Charley comes down left. Lord Fancourt centre.
Yes. You know Freddie Peel, don't you? He's an awful idiot. Hasn't a particle of brains, has he? But I'm all right. He gave a card party last night, and I won £100 from him. You should have seen his face. It makes me laugh now.
Why, Freddie Peel hasn't sixpence.
No, really?
And did he pay you?
No, but he's going to, when his grandmother dies.
Why, the old lady's been dead years.
No, really? That's beastly. You know, I'm stumped, and he's had an awful lot out of me. But he's an awful idiot. Hasn't a particle of brains, has he? But I'm all right.
Picks up bag.
Ta-ta. I'm off.
Attempts to bolt towards window. Jack intercepts and brings him back to table as before. Jack puts bag on table.
I say, Babs, we want you to stay and lunch with us today.
I say, you chaps, don't play the giddy-goat. I've got to meet my tutor.
Jack with mock concern.
Babs, you mustn't work like this. You're looking quite pulled down.
Am I really?
Turns to Charley.
I was only telling Jack so just now.
Do you think I shall die?
Turns to Jack.
Not you. You don't want to worry over all this study. You'll be a great man of one sort or another, one of these days without all that.
Well, that's what I think, you know. But I ought to do something. We've had a wonderful lot of Johnnies in our family. Great Johnnies in the army and navy and things.
I'll bet they never killed themselves with study.
No, but I must do something.
Of course, Babs, you must stay to lunch. Charley's aunt is going to pay him a visit.
No, really? What fun! I know Charley visits his uncle sometimes when he is hard up.
Pulling Charley's watch out by the chain.
So it's only right his aunt should return the visit.
All laugh, pushing Lord Fancourt to and fro. Charley regains his watch.
Now that's just the sort of thing we want, a jolly smart chap like you, with a fund of humour and a lot of brilliant conversation.
Turns Lord Fancourt round so that they face each other.
Yes, Babs, that's it.
Hands on Lord Fancourt's shoulders and turns him round same as Jack has done, so that they face each other. Jack pulls him back facing centre.
To interest and amuse a charming lady.
Yes. Who is she?
Why, Charley's aunt.
What's she like?
Well, you see, Babs, we don't quite know. I am to see her today for the first time.
I say, Charley, she may turn out to be an awful old crock.
Note, croc, short for crocodile. This was a slang expression of 1892. The modern equivalent would be frump.
She's a widow, and a millionaire, that's enough, isn't it?
Rather.
To Charley.
Put me down for a chance, Charley. I'll take a chance.
We didn't care to ask Freddie Peel, did we, Charley?
No.
No.
No. He's an awful idiot. I say, what's her name?
Donna-LUCIA D'ALVADOREZ.
Oh, damn it, what a name.
Seizes bag again and bolts to door left. Jack and Charley bring him back right centre, turn him round and run him up to table centre, on which he falls face downwards, putting bag on table. Jack brings him down centre again.
Look here, Babs, it's no use. You must stay to lunch. You'll find Charley's aunt a charming old lady.
Charming old lady? I say, look here. Haven't you got anything younger coming?
Oh, yes. 2 other ladies.
Nice? Young?
Yes.
Ah, that's more in my line. How many did you say?
2.
Oh, I see. 1 for each of you, and the old crock for me. No thanks, I'm off.
Lord Fancourt bolts upright of table centre, towards window with his bag, and is brought back as before. Jack coming down right of him.
Now listen, Babs, this is an awfully serious affair.
I should think so, with an old crock like that.
Charley coming down left of him.
And we want your help as a friend.
Yes, Babs, a friend we can trust, eh?
Rather.
We'll take you into our confidence. No humbug, straight as a die. We're in love.
What, Charley as well? You silly ass.
Pushes him away, sits on table centre. Charley goes down left.
No fool of a flirtation business, but the real downright serious thing.
Sits on corner of writing table.
And Babs, if you knew the girls as well as we do, you wouldn't wonder at it.
And they're coming here to lunch today.
I say, have you proposed?
From one to the other.
No, that's just it.
Oh, I see. You want me to propose for you?
No, we'll do that for ourselves. That's why we've asked them to come.
You know, Babs, you don't understand our feelings a bit.
Oh, don't I, though? I say.
Rises, comes down centre, beckons boys to him. All centre.
Haven't you noticed how sad I've been lately?
Yes.
What is it?
Well, I don't know, but I think I'm in love too.
What makes you think that?
I'm always wanting to be alone and hear the birds sing.
Jack and Charley laugh.
And I'm getting so fond of poetry I can't sleep. I took to drink for a couple of days, but it made me ill for a week, so I left it off.
You've got all the symptoms. Sit down and tell us all about it.
Lord Fancourt goes to chair right of table centre. Charley sits on table centre. Jack sits at table right. Lord Fancourt places his hat on Charley's foot. Charley removes it.
You remember when I was ploughed?
Beastly shame.
No, not last time. The term before. I was awfully ill, and took the yacht round the Mediterranean, and at Monte Carlo I came across an English officer named Delahaye, quite penniless and dying. You know, Jack, he tried to commit suicide.
Bad luck at the tables, eh?
Yes. He'd beggared himself and his only child, the sweetest little girl you ever saw, Jack. And to amuse him and keep his spirits up, I used to play cards with him.
And what became of him?
He died, poor fellow.
And what became of her, the sweetest little girl you ever saw?
I lost sight of her. A lady travelling home that way, from South America, I believe, took charge of her and brought her to England. You know, Jack, I tried to tell her that.
You loved her?
But she was in such grief that...
It all oozed out of your fingertips and the points of your hair.
But after all, you know, I might have been rejected, and I should have looked a silly ass.
At any rate, you can sympathize with us.
Brassett, knock off stage left. Enter up left.
Hallo, here's the messenger back.
Jack, Lord Fancourt, and Charley all hurry across left. Brassett re-enters with note, hands it to Jack, and goes up left to sideboard. Quietly arranges 3 tumblers, whiskey decanter, and jug of water on tray during next scene. Jack opens letter and reads.
They're coming.
They are looking over each other's shoulders while Jack opens note. Lord Fancourt takes note from Jack.
By Jove!
Charley takes it from him. Lord Fancourt is left staring at his thumb and first 2 fingers spread out.
So they are...
Goes right and sits in writing chair with his back to Jack and Lord Fancourt, reading letter.
You'll stop, Babs?
I say. Look here.
Looks at clothes.
No, you'll do as you are. We won't let you go now we've got you.
But look here, Jack. Don't play the giddy goat. I've something else to do.
What is it?
It's something awfully important.
Well, what?
I'm going to play in some amateur theatricals.
Rot. He'll be ploughed again, won't he, Charley?
But I've given my word.
What are you playing?
Lady. An old lady. And I've never acted in my life before.
Oh, that's his tutor, eh, Charley?
And I'm going to try on the things before those fellows come.
You can try them on here. Where are they?
In my rooms. In a box on the bed. But...
Brassett at sideboard. Jack to Brassett.
Fetch them, Brassett, quick.
Brassett exits left. Charley goes up to window.
No, I'll fetch them with my little bag.
Bolts left with bag. Jack intercepts him. They struggle for bag. Jack gets it and throws it casually down on table. Lord Fancourt picks it up very concerned, takes a step or 2 down and shakes bag gently to hear if any bottles are broken, then runs hand underneath to see if any are leaking. Reassured, puts bag on chair left of center table. Neither Jack nor Charley sees any of Lord Fancourt's business with bag. Jack, during this, gets whiskey, water and glasses on salver front sideboard, places them on center table. Charley coming down right to center table. Jack behind center table. Lord Fancourt left of table. Jack pours out 2 whiskies, hands decanter to Charley. Charley, pouring out whiskey for himself, leaving decanter on right corner of table.
Babs, you don't sympathize with us a bit.
Jack pours water into 1 whiskey.
Don't I, though? I only wish I could see my own little girl.
Jack adding water to 2nd whiskey.
Oh, she'll turn up one of these days.
Offers drink to Lord Fancourt.
Have a drink?
Charley adds water to his own whiskey.
No, I've knocked it off.
Just a small one.
I'm teetotal.
Oh, very well. Here you are, Charley.
Offers glass to Charley.
All right, I'll have it.
Seizes glass.
I tell you what we'll do. We'll drink her health wherever she is. Here's to the future Lady Fancourt Babberley. What did you say her name was?
Haven't the slightest idea.
Jack and Charley laugh.
Go on with you.
Lifts his glass.
Miss Delahaye.
They drink. Lord Fancourt places his glass on table. Re-enter Brassett with dress box, left. A large brown cardboard box with gilt edges, like an exaggerated chocolate box.
Your things, my lord.
Charley goes down right. Sits chair side of writing table. Jack goes right center, front of center table. Lord Fancourt, taking box from Brassett.
Thank you, Brassett. You're an awfully good chap.
Crosses to Jack, aside.
I say, Jack, could you lend me £0.50?
Turns up stage and puts box on window seat at back. Jack feels in pockets, then aside to Charley.
Charley, have you £0.50?
Charley, pulling out linings of trouser pockets.
No, Jack, I haven't.
Jack, crossing left, aside to Brassett.
Brassett, give me £0.50, will you?
Yes, sir.
Takes out handful of money, gives £0.50.
Babs?
Lord Fancourt comes down right centre, aside to Lord Fancourt.
Here you are.
Gives £0.50 and crosses to Charley right.
Thanks.
Crosses to Brassett left.
Brassett, here you are.
Jack and Charley see £0.50 given back to Brassett and laugh. Charley collapses in chair left of writing table. Jack ditto into chair right of table. Lord Fancourt turns, puzzled, crosses to Jack. Jack whispers to him, points to Brassett, then twice to himself, then to Lord Fancourt and then to Brassett again. Lord Fancourt joins in laughter and goes up to window seat and picks up dress box. Brassett, during this, removes bag from chair left of table to chair at back, and exits up left. Jack to Lord Fancourt, pointing to box.
What have you got there?
Chocolates.
Chocolates?
Still seated in chair.
Let's have a look.
No. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll try them on after lunch while you're all in the garden.
You can't do that. We shall want you with us. Try them on now. Won't take long, will it?
Only a minute or two.
Lifts box onto his left shoulder, crossing up stage to left.
I've lost an awful lot of time over these theatricals.
At door.
But next term I mean to work.
Exits up left. End of Act 1, Part 1. Act 1, Part 2 of Charley's Aunt by Brandon Thomas. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Charley's Aunt, a play in 3 acts, by Brandon Thomas. Act 1, Part 2. Jack goes up to front of fireplace. Kitty, off.
Oh yes, here it is. Here's the name.
Amy, off.
Oh, so it is. Mr. Chesney. I wonder if they're in.
Off-stage knock. Jack, to Charley at chair.
Here they are, and your aunt's not come yet.
Rushes to mantelpiece to see the time. Notices photographs, slants them face down, arranges tie, smooths hair all in a hurry, returns below table, center. Charley rises, getting behind Jack.
Good gracious, what shall we do?
Also trying to see in mirror. Re-enter Brassett, up left. Goes to door left.
Oh, let them come in. We can explain.
Crossing left center below table.
Show them in, Brassett.
Brassett opens door, showing in Kitty and Amy, closes door, and goes up back center, and then exits up left. Jack shaking hands with Kitty.
How do you do?
Shaking hands with Amy.
So kind of you to come.
Oh, we were very pleased to be able to come.
They both cross to table right. Charley joins Amy left.
Weren't we, Amy?
Oh yes.
To Charley.
Mr. Wickham, are we too early?
Oh, no, no.
They shake hands and move up to center table together. Charley, in his nervousness, backs into the chair, then offers it to Amy. She sits, chair left of table.
Yes, Mr. Chesney, you didn't mention any time.
Jack gives chair. Kitty sits left of writing table.
Oh, not at all, not at all. We're delighted.
Going to fireplace to look at clock. Aside.
She'll be here soon.
Enter Lord Fancourt up left in his shirt sleeves. To center upstage. Sees girls and bolts back up left. Jack and Charley in terror the girls may see him. Charley from behind table, leans over table, hides the drink, etc. with his hat, on table. Brassett takes tray from table, and off through recess up left, leaving whiskey decanter. Charley leans forward talking to Amy and screening whiskey with his hat, at the same time signaling with his hand behind his back to Jack. Kitty, sitting.
And this is where you think and study and do all your work and everything.
Jack rapidly takes decanter from table, hides it in fireplace, and returns to chair behind writing table.
Oh, yes, we do a lot of that sort of thing here.
Sits.
You've jolly quarters here.
Jack and Kitty continue to talk aside. Charley to Amy.
I am so glad you were able to come here today. You are off to Scotland tomorrow, and we shall miss you so much.
Yes, Uncle always takes us to some dreadfully remote place at this time of the year, where we never see a soul, and it's so dreary.
Why does he?
I don't know.
Oh, it's a shame.
Why? Are you sorry we're going?
Sorry? Why, it's put me and Jack into a perfect fever. That's why we were so anxious to see you here today.
It's lucky Uncle is away in town, or I don't think we could have come.
Why?
I don't know, but he always raises such odd objections. And then you know he's so peculiar with Kitty.
Why?
She's an heiress, you know, and he's her guardian.
They talk aside. Jack ardently.
Miss Verdun, have you forgotten that dance the other night? I never shall.
No.
No. Those stolen moments in the garden by ourselves were the very happiest of all my life. And out there in the moonlight, moonlight is the true atmosphere for sentiment.
I wonder how many people have said that.
Jack, let down a little.
Kitty, I know when you like you can be an awful plague, but today you are quite cynical.
I know I am. I'm thinking of that man.
Of what man?
Of my guardian, Mr. Spettigue, who hurries us away from all our best friends directly we get to know anyone really well, for fear of...
For fear of what?
Kitty, evasively.
Oh, I don't know.
Why does he?
Kitty, looking up and smiling.
Because he's a selfish, wicked old man.
Are you really so sorry to go away?
No, I'm angry. But don't speak about it any more, or as Amy says, I shall cry.
Amy, rising and speaking to Charley as they come down left a little.
What a dear, sweet old lady your aunt must be, Mr. Wickham. I am longing to know her. Where is she?
Charley, aside.
Jack?
Rapidly, in agonized aside and beckoning Jack, who goes to him.
Where's my aunt?
Jack whispers something in his ear and turns away. Charley not catching it.
What?
Jack shrugs shoulders hopelessly and returns to Kitty. Kitty and Amy see nothing of this last scene, which must be played rapidly. Charley to Amy hesitatingly.
Oh, she's hardly arrived yet.
Amy surprised.
No, oh.
Crosses to Kitty.
Kitty, Mr. Wickham's aunt hasn't come yet.
Kitty rising.
Hasn't come?
Crossing to center.
Oh.
Turning to Jack.
Then we'll run and do some shopping and come back. Shan't be long. Goodbye.
Kitty crosses Amy to left entrance. Charley has worked round to door, which he opens. Jack follows. Amy to Jack.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Kitty to Charley at door.
Goodbye.
Amy to Charley at door, rather sadly.
Goodbye.
Exit left, Kitty first, then Amy. Charley at door.
Goodbye.
Slight pause. Jack and Charley look at each other blankly. Both sit on center table and shake hands.
See that? Off like a shot when they found your aunt wasn't here.
Makes an awful difference, doesn't it?
Jack, hurrying Charley off, left.
Now look here. You cut off to the station and bundle the old girl here in a fly.
Charley picks up his hat from table. Charley, turning at door.
The old girl? What do you mean?
Well, your aunt. And I'll see after the lunch and keep an eye on Babs.
Charley, going.
All right,
Returning.
I say, Jack, I feel happier since I've seen them. Don't you?
Jack, impatiently.
Yes, be off.
Going towards writing table. Exit Charley, left. Enter Lord Fancourt in shirt sleeves and waistcoat, up left. Comes down left of Jack, cautiously. Jack turns and sees Lord Fancourt.
I say, old chap, have you got any hairpins?
Enter Brassett, up left, coming down to sideboard.
Hairpins? Great Scott, no.
May I send your man for some?
Yes, certainly.
Lord Fancourt, aside to Jack.
I say, have you got sixpence?
Jack, feeling hurriedly and impatiently in pockets.
No, afraid not.
Why, you haven't got anything.
Aside to Brassett.
I say, Brassett, I give you half a crown just now. Do you mind making it 2 shillings and getting me 6 penny worth of hairpins?
Brassett, with a look.
Certainly, my lord.
You can keep the change.
Exit Brassett, left.
I say, Jack, were those the girls?
Yes, but what the deuce made you jump out like that? They might have seen you.
I didn't know they were here.
Off-stage knock at outer door, left.
Look out, there's somebody else.
Lord Fancourt bolts and exits door, up left.
By George, there was a lot of hope in what Kitty said. In another minute I'd have told her that I...
Going to table, right. Back turned to door, left.
But never mind. Everything's going on splendidly.
Knock repeated.
Come in.
Enter Sir Francis Chesney, left. Colonel Sir Francis Chesney, Baronet, late Indian service. Tall, good-looking, smart in appearance and manner. Wears small military moustache, actually 51, but looking nearer 40. Very smart, cheery and young in manner. Wears brown lounge suit, bowler hat, and carries gloves and Malacca walking stick. He has just arrived from London.
Jack!
Jack, turning, surprised and delighted.
Dad!
My dear boy.
They shake hands.
Dear old Dad! What brings you here? Wherever have you come from?
From town, my lad, to have a chat with you, and to bring you your cheque.
Puts hat, stick, and gloves on sideboard.
Thanks, Dad, you're a brick.
Sir Francis, smiling.
A bit overbaked, my boy, after all my years in India.
Coming center below table.
A bit crisped, Dad, but a humbug pictorially.
Am I? How do you make that out?
How old are you?
What do you say to 50?
50?
1.
Who'd believe it?
And you, Jack, seem much older than I was at your age. I suppose it's the times. Even the old college shows it. New ivy, new paint.
Looking towards window. Both center, backs to audience, looking at college through window.
Alma Mater's an old beauty still, Dad.
They turn, facing audience again.
I suppose she is, by aid of the gentle artifices of the toilet.
Cheerfully and unconcernedly.
Well, we all grow old.
Sits on center table. Sir Francis takes out pocketbook containing cheque already made out to Jack, and a bundle of bills pinned together, with one very long one among them.
And as presentably as possible. Why, dear old Dad, even you at 50...
1.
50 years ago would have been a stout, white-haired or bald-topped, booted, domineering old boy. And instead, here you are, a smart, bang, up-to-date sort of chap one can talk to like a chum. Now, how have you done it?
Don't know.
Do you drink?
All I want.
Eat well?
Never noticed.
There you are. Consequently, health good, temper perfect. We're going to be great pals, Dad.
Sir Francis, handing cheque.
Here you are, my boy. There's your cheque to go on with.
Gives cheque, looking at bills.
Thanks, Dad.
Sees amount of cheque. Smiles to Sir Francis.
I haven't seen half enough of you.
Sir Francis, holding up bills.
I see your hospitality.
I hope, Dad.
Never mind, same when I was a lad.
Jack, looking at long bill.
I've been done over that wine monstrously.
Were you? Never mind, so was I.
They laugh. Sir Francis rises. They both move towards table right.
Done over everything monstrously at college. But settle up, settle up.
Jack back of table. Sir Francis left of it.
I'm very satisfied with you. It's something to go down from college with a record like yours.
Picks up cigar box and opens it.
I say, my boy, where the deuce did you get these cigars?
Jack, casually.
Those, Dad?
Sir Francis, putting box down, sits left by writing table.
Ah, that accounts for the bills. And now, my lad, we must begin to think.
Jack sits at writing table.
Think?
Now that I have come into the family title, as you know, I have also, which you don't know, come into the family debts and difficulties.
Debts?
Which are far more than I expected, with the result that all the money I've been saving for you in India goes to pay them. And in short, Jack, you and I for the next few years will be, comparatively speaking, poor men.
Jack rises and crosses behind desk to center.
Poor men.
Aside.
This settles me with old Spettigue.
Sir Francis rising.
However, I'm in hopes of a small appointment for you.
Jack turns hopefully.
In Bengal.
Goes to fireplace. Re-enter Brassett, left.
Bengal, what a horrible place.
Turns, sees Brassett as he passes up stage left. To him irritably.
What is it, Brassett?
Brassett, holding up by a fine string loop, a tiny brown paper packet. Aside to Jack.
His lordship's hairpins, sir.
Confound his hairpins!
Brassett exits up left. Aside, recollecting.
By George, the dad'll be an odd one. I must get rid of Babs somehow if the dad stays.
Suddenly.
Stays? Why not?
Aloud.
Dad, I've an idea.
Sir Francis turns and comes center to Jack.
Couldn't this matter be settled by a wealthy marriage?
No, that's the sort of thing I rather deprecate. I don't think. Jack, I'd...
Listen. My chum, that is Charley Wykeham's aunt, Donna-LUCIA D'ALVADOREZ, is coming here to lunch today. She's a widow.
Sir Francis, dubiously.
A widow?
And a millionaire.
Sir Francis, more hopefully.
And a millionaire?
And a charming woman.
No, Jack, I don't think I'd advise you to do a thing of this kind merely for the sake of money.
No, not me, Dad, you.
Me? You young rascal.
Attempts to punch Jack. Jack dodges under his upraised arm to fireplace right.
No, I shall never marry again.
Goes towards sideboard. Jack bringing him back again by the arm.
Dad, think it over. Where are your things?
At the hotel. Don't be rash.
Go and change. Make yourself look as nice as possible. Come back to lunch at 1 o'clock, and, Dad, put a flower in your buttonhole.
Charley, shouting off excitedly.
I say, Jack!
Enter Charley left, hurriedly with telegram. Almost runs into Sir Francis. Jack, introducing.
Oh, Dad, Charley Wykeham. Charley, my father.
Sir Francis shakes hands with Charley.
Glad to know you, my boy. Glad to know you.
Jack to Sir Francis, aside.
Her nephew. Nice boy. You'll like him.
Sir Francis to Charley.
I thought it was the fire brigade.
Charley laughs, goes up left behind table to fireplace.
Now don't forget, put a flower in your buttonhole. Takes years off a man, a flower in his buttonhole.
Sir Francis turning and taking hat, stick, and gloves from sideboard.
No, Jack, you come and lunch with me at the Mitre.
At door left.
Now don't be rash, Dad. See her first. See her first.
Sir Francis putting his hat on jauntily.
All right, Jack, I'll have a look at her.
Smiling.
I'll have a look at her.
Exit left. Jack to Charley.
Well, what is it?
Charley, excited and anxious, gives telegram.
Read that.
Jack reads.
Important business, don't expect me for a few days. Lucia D'ALVADOREZ.
Excitedly.
No.
She's not coming.
But she must. Go, wire, telegraph.
No use. There's no time.
Goes up to window.
But hang it, the girls won't remain without a chaperone. What are we to do?
Couldn't we ask the proctor's wife, old Mrs.
Looks out of window. Jack, gloomily.
Who'd sit and stare like an owl.
Charley, turning to Jack.
Here they are. They're coming.
Again looking out of window. Jack sitting on table center.
What on earth are we to do?
Lord Fancourt, off, up left.
I say, Jack, come and look at me.
Jack, irritably, turning up stage and going up left.
What the deuce is it?
Opens door, looks off, starts back a step in amazement.
By George! Splendid!
To Charley.
Charley, come here quickly. Do you know what a pious fraud is?
Charley crosses to Jack, up center. Charley, surprised and puzzled.
Pious fraud?
First cousin to a miracle.
Pushes Charley across him.
Look.
Charley looks off, up left.
What is it?
Babs, your aunt.
Babs?
Turning upon Jack.
My aunt?
It's the only one you've got, so you'll have to make the best of her.
Pushes Charley down to right, drops down left. Lord Fancourt, off.
I say, look here.
Enter Lord Fancourt, dressed as an old lady, in black satin, fichu, wig, cap, etc. Stands smiling.
How's this?
Then walks down left, smiling benignly. Charley looks on in amazement. Jack with determined satisfaction. As laughter subsides, Jack speaks.
Splendid.
Loud knock, outer door, left. Lord Fancourt, looking at door in a fright.
Who's that?
Offers to bolt. Jack seizing him by shoulders.
The girls.
Lord Fancourt looking at Jack.
The girls?
Charley's aunt can't come.
Can't she? I'll go and take these things off.
Turns to bolt, up left. Jack grabs him, assisted by Charley.
No, they won't stop if you do.
Won't stop? What do you mean?
You must be Charley's aunt.
Lord Fancourt in dismay.
Me? No.
Charley seizes Lord Fancourt by right arm, Jack holding his left arm. Lord Fancourt backs a little and sinks down. They then slide him across to chair left of writing table. Lord Fancourt rises twice, and each time is pushed down again by Charley, who then gives chair a kick backwards with the heel of his right foot, careful to kick chair while it appears to audience as if he had kicked Lord Fancourt, who writhes. Jack leaves him and goes to meet girls. Charley stands left of the chair so as to hide Lord Fancourt from door left. Brassett enters up left.
Show them in, Brassett.
Brassett opens door left. Enter Kitty and Amy, carrying bunch of flowers and tissue paper. Jack joins them. Lord Fancourt makes an arch of Charley's right arm and looks through it to see what girls are like, much to Charley's annoyance. Charley, furious, smacks Lord Fancourt's face. He actually hits own arm. Lord Fancourt draws back as though his face had been hit, clamping his hand over his nose and mouth.
Ah, you've got back. So glad.
Brassett exits up left.
Yes, we've been longer than we intended, but I wanted to get some flowers for Charley's aunt. Has she come?
Yes, has she? I hope she's come.
Oh, yes, she's come.
Jack crosses right center. Kitty and Amy follow. Charley moves up to clear Lord Fancourt. Jack introducing.
Donna-Lucia, Miss Pettigrew, Miss Verdun. Girls, Donna-Lucia D'ALVADOREZ, Charley's aunt.
Charley moves up right a little. Jack crosses rapidly behind Lord Fancourt, stands right of him. Slight pause. Jack, aside to Lord Fancourt.
Go on, say something.
Lord Fancourt stares at them blankly, and, after a pat,
How do you do, my dears?
We called upon you before, Donna Lucia, but you hadn't arrived.
Amy, crossing Kitty, goes to Lord Fancourt and giving flowers.
And we've brought you these.
Lord Fancourt taking flowers.
Oh, thank you.
Amy joins Charley. They move upright.
I hope your journey from town hasn't tired you.
Oh, no. It was very jolly.
Jack prods him.
Pleasant, I mean.
Kitty goes up to Amy and Charley. Lord Fancourt aside to Jack, holding up flowers.
What the deuce am I to do with these things?
Jack aside to Lord Fancourt.
Stick 'em in your dress.
Fancourt puts flowers in dress, tries to see over them, can't, so parts them and peers between. Brassett enters, comes down centre to speak to Lord Fancourt, sees flowers, can't speak. Lord Fancourt winks at him. Brassett nearly explodes and turns to sideboard hurriedly. Amy, at back of table, to Charley.
You look worried, Mr. Wickham. Are you ill?
No, I'm anxious.
Jack coming to the rescue.
He's a little affected at meeting his aunt today for the first time.
Aside to Lord Fancourt, prodding him.
Why the dickens don't you say something?
What the dickens am I to say?
Talk about the weather.
Lord Fancourt aloud to girls.
Charming weather.
Oh, yes, delightful. Oh, yes, it is charming.
Charming.
Brassett at door left.
Well, college gents'll do anything.
Brassett exits. Lord Fancourt aside to Jack.
You know, you're placing me in a terribly false position.
Amy, coming down right to Lord Fancourt.
May I arrange these for you, Donna Lucia?
Lord Fancourt takes flowers out of dress and hands her them.
After all, you know, we have some nice weather sometimes in poor old England.
Turns to Charley, then joins Kitty at centre table. Charley then goes left of Lord Fancourt. Lord Fancourt aside to Jack.
What on earth does she mean by that?
Why, you're a foreigner.
A foreigner? What did you say my name was?
Donna-LUCIA D'ALVADOREZ.
What am I? Irish?
No, English. Married a Portuguese abroad.
A widow.
From Brazil.
And a millionaire.
Lord Fancourt to Charley.
I say, Charley, have I any children?
No, you fool.
Charley kicks chair as before. Lord Fancourt hurriedly rubs leg as though hurt. Brassett enters with tray, places it on centre table, arranges the luncheon things, standing below table, back to audience. Kitty and Amy help during following scene. Brassett also arranges 3 single chairs, 2 behind one end of table left.
Well, one ought to know. That's all right. Now I can go on ahead. Yes, it is wonderful weather for England.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Lord Fancourt aside to Jack, rising.
Shall I take them to see the chapel and the cloisters?
Jack and Charley pull him back violently in the chair.
No, you leave that to me and Charley. We'll attend to them.
Kitty, coming down left of table to Lord Fancourt.
Of course, Oxford is all very new to you, Donna Lucia, but it's a dear old place in any weather. Amy and I will show you all about.
I shall be delighted.
Rises. They push him back, as before. Kitty, to Lord Fancourt again.
You're staying till tomorrow, are you not?
Lord Fancourt aside to Jack.
Am I staying until tomorrow?
Jack, quickly and rather loudly.
No.
Lord Fancourt, quickly and very loudly.
No!
The girls turn round in surprise.
Oh.
Returns to left of table, helps to lay lunch.
Oh, but you will, you must.
To Kitty.
Mustn't she, Kitty?
Charley, anxiously.
I'm afraid Auntie can't stay after today.
Kitty joins Amy up centre.
No, you see, it's my washing day.
Crosses legs. Charley, who is standing left of him, pushes Lord Fancourt's knee down again. Charley to girls, explaining.
She has so much business to attend to in town.
Joins girls.
Yes, lawyers, stocks.
Yes, stocks and socks.
Jack punches him.
Oh, very important, you know.
Amy comes down left of Lord Fancourt.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We have so longed to know you.
Have you, my dear?
Takes Amy's hand.
Mr. Wickham has told us so much about you that he has made us quite love you.
Kitty sits right corner of window seat. Charley comes down behind Amy. Lord Fancourt slipping his left arm round Amy's waist.
Has he, my dear?
Charley takes Lord Fancourt's arm away angrily. Lord Fancourt replaces it. Charley pulls it away again. Amy kneels. Lord Fancourt slips his arm round her shoulders and gives her a quick little hug, and both the boys a look of triumph. Charley, furious, crosses to left. Goes up, knocks off cap from figure, returns down left, and sulks. Amy, kneeling by Lord Fancourt.
And he's so grateful. He says he owes everything to you and never could repay you, and oh, he is such a good, frank, upright man. It was noble of you.
Of course, my dear.
Taking his arm from round her quietly.
It was only my duty to see after the welfare of my poor brothers.
Jack, aside to Lord Fancourt, quickly.
Sisters, you fool,
Lord Fancourt to Amy, repeating.
Sisters, you fool.
Correcting himself.
Sisters.
With aggressive look at Jack.
And?
To Amy.
Brother-in-law's orphan girl.
Jack, aside as before.
Boy.
Lord Fancourt to Amy.
Boy.
Aside to Jack.
I'll say twins in a minute.
Brassett, below table, back to audience, has during this scene been laying luncheon. Now exits left.
Yes, but it was so good of you to find out. You were so far away in a foreign land, and you might have been left to starve or to fall into cruel hands. But you have a good, kind, affectionate nature.
Have I, my dear?
Anyone can see it in your face.
No.
I feel I could tell my whole heart to you.
Looks away to Charley, left. Jack to Lord Fancourt, aside.
Don't let her.
Lord Fancourt, aside to Jack.
I'm not going to. The dear little thing.
Amy to Lord Fancourt.
You don't mind my talking to you like this, do you?
My dear, you are a very charming little girl, of whom I am sure I could soon grow very fond.
Looks over Amy's head at Charley and waves. Charley shakes fist at him.
And you must tell me all you like some day when you know me better.
Amy again looks away to Charley, left. Lord Fancourt, aside to Jack.
How the devil is that?
Oh.
Rises.
I feel I've known you years and years already.
Kisses Lord Fancourt and joins Kitty in window. Sits left corner. Charley flies at Lord Fancourt, pinching him viciously. Jack, same business on other side. Then both join girls at window. Lord Fancourt, aside.
They're jealous. I'm very sorry, but it was very nice.
Enter Brassett, left, hurriedly to left centre. Brassett to Jack, in an anxious manner, and half aside.
Mr. Chesney, Mr. Chesney?
Jack comes down to Brassett.
I beg pardon, sir, but I heard Mr. Spettigue inquiring at the gate for your rooms, sir.
Oh dear, my uncle back.
Mr. Spettigue.
All rise, general consternation. All remain above centre table. Jack, aghast.
Mr. Spettigue back? I thought he was in London.
Returning to others above table. Brassett goes up left, draws curtains of recess.
Mr. Chesney, I beg of you to send him away.
Knock on outer door. Kitty, Amy, and Jack exit into recess. Brassett exits up left. Lord Fancourt looks scared at knock, and bolts to window right. Leaps onto window seat, about to get out. Charley turns, bolts after him, seizes him round waist as he is getting through window, carries him down stage, Lord Fancourt's feet, with soles showing to audience, spread out. Charley plumps him down right centre, front. Lord Fancourt, in terror, grabbing Charley.
What am I to say? What am I to do?
Stay where you are, Babs. Tell him what you like, only get rid of him.
Charley exits quickly through curtains into recess. Fancourt stands right centre. Knock again, louder. Spettigue off, in a loud and angry voice.
Why doesn't somebody answer this door?
Stephen Spettigue is a well-to-do solicitor of about 56 to 60. Rather stout, and when not in a temper has a charming smile, so that in spite of everything you can't help liking him. He has real charm of manner when he likes to use it. At other times he is pompous, self-opinionated, assertive, and not open to argument. He is grey-haired, and can be rather bald. Wears small, short side whiskers a la Sir Edward Clarke. Dressed in a frock coat, grey cloth waistcoat, wearing top hat and carrying furled umbrella and gloves. This character should not be burlesqued. He is genuinely furious, but when he is charming he knows how to make that too seem genuine. Enter Spettigue angrily, with hat on, left, crossing to Lord Fancourt.
Why doesn't somebody answer this door?
Lord Fancourt, fixing him aggressively and backing him across stage to left, then suddenly to him, loudly.
What do you want?
I wish to see Mr. Chesney.
Lord Fancourt pointing with closed fan.
Where did you get that hat?
Aggressively.
Take it off, sir.
Moving away a little to centre. Spettigue removes hat, goes to table, and is about to sit chair left of table.
Don't sit down, sir.
Spettigue straightens hurriedly.
I'm not sitting down. I didn't ask you to sit down.
Spettigue coming down a little.
We'll waive that for the present, madam. I wish to see Mr. Chesney at once.
Well, you can't see him. He's not present. I am the only person present.
But the porter told me that 2 young ladies, my niece and ward, were here.
I tell you, I am the only young lady present.
But he told me he saw them come in.
Taps top of hat.
And didn't he tell you he saw them go out?
Taps hat twice with last 2 words with fan. Spettigue loudly.
No.
Lord Fancourt just as loudly.
Very well, then. What more do you want?
They've gone into the garden.
Turning upstage towards recess. Lord Fancourt turning with him.
They've done nothing of the kind.
Spettigue coming down left again.
Then they've gone into the town.
Going towards door left. Lord Fancourt coming down right.
Well, why couldn't you think of that before?
Crossing to Spettigue.
And now, sir, having got all the information you are likely to get, in your present condition...
Eyeing him all over.
Madam.
Disgraceful! Where have you been?
Moving way a little to centre. Spettigue following.
What do you mean, madam? I am annoyed, but perfectly sober.
Well, you don't look it.
Moving to side of writing table.
Other people can be annoyed as well as yourself.
Sits chair left of it, and picks up timetable or other light book.
Madam, I apologize. Good morning.
Puts his hat on, turns, and goes towards left. As he turns to go, Lord Fancourt half rises, throws book. Knocks Spettigue's hat off, then sits again chair left of table, assuming an unconscious air. This business is done by Spettigue putting his hat on lightly and slightly on one side. Lord Fancourt holds ABC in flat of right hand, and half propels it out of his hand with an upward movement, catching the right side of hat, and so sending the hat up stage. Done otherwise at any other angle, there is a danger of the brim of the hat hitting Spettigue's nose. Retrieves hat, pointing to it.
Did you see anything strike that hat?
I beg your pardon?
Did you see anything strike that hat?
Putting hat closer to him. Lord Fancourt aside.
He wants me to do it again.
Strikes hat with fan. Spettigue puts on hat and exits left angrily. Going up right towards recess, calling to girls.
Oh, my dears.
Re-enter Kitty and Amy, followed by Jack and Charley. Kitty to Lord Fancourt.
It was sweet of you.
You darling!
One on each side of Lord Fancourt, they kiss him.
Look at him, Jack.
I'll punch his head in if he does it again.
Knock. Brassett enters, up left. To Charley.
Here's my father.
Going down centre to Lord Fancourt.
Donna-Lucia.
Lord Fancourt comes down centre to Jack. Charley joins girls up right centre. Aside to Lord Fancourt.
Take care. Here's my father.
Look here. Am I any relation to him?
No, you're Charley's aunt. from Brazil.
Brazil? Where's that?
You know, where the nuts come from.
Lord Fancourt is hurried on to chair left of writing table. Charley goes down left of Lord Fancourt, screening him from door as before. Jack centre. Brassett opens door left for Sir Francis Chesney, and waits to take his hat and stick. Enter Sir Francis Chesney. He has changed into frock coat, silk hat, stick, and carries gloves, and wears a deep cerise red carnation. Kitty and Amy up right centre. Jack introducing to Kitty.
Miss Verdun, my father.
Delighted.
Jack to Amy.
Miss Pettigue, my father.
Kitty and Amy bow.
Charmed.
Turns, sees Brassett. Brassett takes his hat and stick and places them on hat rack in recess. Exits. To Brassett.
Thank you.
Aside to Jack.
Now, Jack, has she come?
Oh, yes, she's come.
Crossing to Charley. Aside.
Go on, Charley. Introduce your aunt.
Charley to Lord Fancourt.
Donna-LUCIA D'ALVADOREZ, Sir Francis Chesney, Jack's father.
Sir Francis stares at Lord Fancourt.
How do you do, Sir Francis?
How do you do?
I'm Charley's aunt from Brazil. Where the nuts come from?
Charley gets before chair and kicks as before. Goes up stage and joins ladies in window. Lord Fancourt holds his leg in pain. Sir Francis aside to Jack.
I say, Jack.
Jack goes quickly to him.
Yes?
Is that the lady?
Yes.
Sir Francis points to flower in his buttonhole.
Oh, by George.
Turns towards door left. Jack catching his arm to stop him.
Oh, don't go, Dad.
Then crosses rapidly to Lord Fancourt. Aside hurriedly.
Go on. Charley's told you all about him.
Goes right of Lord Fancourt. Lord Fancourt repeating like a parrot. To Sir Francis.
Charley's told you all about him.
No, no.
Lord Fancourt to Sir Francis.
No, no.
Jack whispering and prompting him.
My nephew, Charles.
My nephew, Charles, has told me so much about you.
Jack with a prod, aside.
In his letters.
In his letters. In his letters.
Aside to Jack.
That's all right, isn't it?
Jack viciously.
No, it isn't.
Do it yourself.
Looks sulky. Jack moves left of Lord Fancourt.
I'm much obliged to Mr. Wykeham, but I only met him today for the first time.
Jack aside to Lord Fancourt.
See?
Aloud to Sir Francis.
Yes, but Dad, I've been simply photographing you to Charley for years.
Lord Fancourt to Sir Francis, brightening.
Oh, yes. He's a splendid photographer.
Jack aside to Lord Fancourt.
Remember, you've only just come to England, and you've never seen Charley till today.
Why the deuce didn't you say so before?
Re-enter Brassett from recess.
Jack.
Jack comes quickly to Sir Francis. Aside to Jack.
My dear boy, it's impossible.
What, Dad?
Sir Francis with a look towards Lord Fancourt.
Well, look at her.
Eh?
Suddenly remembering his suggestion of marriage.
Oh, good gracious.
Luncheon is ready, sir.
Takes dish cover to sideboard. Charley brings Amy and Kitty to luncheon table center. Amy left. Charley stands left, upper corner of center table. Kitty top left. Jack crossing to Lord Fancourt. Aside.
Take my father and be careful how you talk to him.
To Sir Francis.
Dad, will you take Donna-LUCIA?
Goes top right corner of table, taking chair from right end. Sir Francis offering arm to Lord Fancourt.
Allow me, Donna-LUCIA.
Lord Fancourt rises, takes Sir Francis's arm, and they move up to table.
You'll sit beside me, won't you, Sir Francis?
Sir Francis takes chair from left end of writing table, places it at right end of center table for Lord Fancourt, who sits. Brassett gets chair from below door left, places it below center table for Sir Francis. They all sit.
I shall be delighted.
Sits center, back to audience.
You've travelled a great deal, I suppose?
Oh, yes. I've been a great traveller, Sir Francis. I came all the way from London only this morning.
Brassett looking about for champagne through this scene. Charley serving mayonnaise.
Donna-Lucia, aunt. Aunt!
Jack prods him.
Mayonnaise?
Lord Fancourt, sweetly.
Thank you.
Miss Pettigrew?
Yes, please.
Miss Verdun?
Please.
Lord Fancourt to Sir Francis.
What a pretty flower.
Do you like it?
Offers it.
Will you accept it?
Oh, thank you.
Takes flower, holding it out.
I'll have it stuffed.
Puts it in dress.
Jack, mayonnaise?
To Brassett.
Open the wine, Brassett.
Kitty to Jack.
You have very pleasant rooms here, Mr. Chesney.
Brassett pours claret into Sir Francis's glass and returns to sideboard to watch result.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, they're awfully nice rooms, Mr. Chesney, I'm sure. Don't you think so, Sir Francis?
Pleasanter today.
With a look from Lord Fancourt to Amy.
Than usual, I fancy. Donna-Lucia, may I have the pleasure?
Sips wine, puts glass down in disgust.
Jack, my boy, where did you get this stuff?
May I have a little water, please?
Jack to Brassett.
Open the champagne, Brassett.
I can't find it, sir.
Lord Fancourt laughing to himself. Jack rising.
Can't find it? Do you know where it is, Charley?
Looking about room, under table, etc.
No.
Looking in recess. Jack sternly to Brassett.
What's become of it? I thought it was in ice.
Lord Fancourt, who has been laughing to himself, taps table with spoon. They all look at him.
What is it? What is it you want?
The champagne, Donna-Lucia.
What? Haven't you got any? Well, I thought you'd forget something, so I brought some with me in my bag. In my bag, Brassett.
Jack punches Lord Fancourt. Brassett takes bag off chair up left, and goes to sideboard and takes out champagne. Enters Spettigue left in a rage with hat on.
Ah!
Amy, Kitty, Jack, and Charley together, all rise except Sir Francis. Spettigue, just inside door left, sees girls.
So I was right after all, and that old fool of a woman told me they were not here.
Lord Fancourt and girls come down right. Sir Francis rises, puts chair under table. Jack taking the bull by the horns, coming forward. Jack offering his hand, gaily.
Oh, Mr. Spettigue.
Don't address me, sir.
Jack falls back a little. Spettigue to girls.
And this is the way you take advantage of my absence?
Mr. Spettigue.
Don't address me, sir. I have no wish to hold any converse with you.
Charley, coming down a little left of table, between Jack and Spettigue.
But won't you allow us to explain?
Spettigue pointing to Jack.
My business is with this young man, sir, and not with you.
Lord Fancourt right, coming forward a little.
But you won't listen to either of them.
Go away, madam, and don't interfere.
Where did you get that hat? Take it off, sir.
Spettigue takes off hat, turning. Jack coming forward again, to Spettigue.
You forget yourself, sir.
Sir Francis, centre, with quiet tone of authority.
Perhaps you will remember, sir, that ladies are present.
Spettigue loftily.
I disapprove of their presence and request them to return with me.
We can discuss this matter on a more fitting occasion.
Certainly. A most excellent suggestion. Let him call again.
You're a very foolish old woman, and I must beg of you not to interfere.
At door.
Ladies, come.
Kitty and Amy move forward reluctantly, but Lord Fancourt puts out his arms to bar the way, and they each take his arm instead.
Sir, you cannot put such an affront upon Mr. Wykeham's friends.
I don't know them. I don't know them.
Sir Francis to Charley.
Introduce me, Mr. Wykeham.
Charley drops down stage a little.
Mr. Spettigue? Sir Francis Chesney.
Falls back. Spettigue barely acknowledges introduction.
Mr. Chesney is my son, sir. And...
Turning to Lord Fancourt.
The lady is...
Lord Fancourt standing between the two girls and affecting to be hurt.
Pray don't introduce him to me. I've been sufficiently insulted by the old gentleman already.
I consult my own feelings when I say that I am deeply annoyed to find on prematurely returning from town my niece and my ward lunching, without my permission, with these two young gentlemen.
To meet Mr. Wykeham's aunt.
Spettigue with insulting disbelief.
Indeed,
Sir Francis, anger rising.
There is no indeed about it, sir. I repeat, to meet Mr. Wykeham's aunt.
In my mind it matters little.
In my mind it matters everything. Therefore...
Kitty and Amy let go of Lord Fancourt's arms.
Allow me to introduce you.
To Lord Fancourt.
Donna-LUCIA D'ALVADOREZ. Mr...
Aside to Jack.
What's his confounded name, Jack?
Spettigue.
Spettigue aside.
Donna-LUCIA?
Sir Francis, finishing introduction.
Mr. Spettigue.
Spettigue surprised, aside.
The celebrated millionaire?
The boys see the change. Lord Fancourt crossing to Spettigue.
Oh, how do you do?
How do you do? I am Charley's aunt from Brazil. Where the nuts come from.
Jack pushes Lord Fancourt, who falls against Spettigue. Lord Fancourt tries to turn the fall into an awkward curtsy, then turns furiously to Jack. Spettigue aside.
I've been indiscreet.
To Lord Fancourt.
Oh, I am sorry. Very, very sorry.
Charley goes up round back of centre table. Takes Amy back to luncheon table. She sits in same place again. Jack aside to Lord Fancourt.
Go on, he's apologized. Ask him to lunch.
Jack takes Kitty back to luncheon table, same place. Lord Fancourt to Spettigue.
Well, I thought you were very rude, but if you apologize, you know...
Spettigue quickly.
Oh, by all means, I'm sorry. I am very sorry.
You stay to lunch, won't you?
Brassett down left, takes hat and stick from Spettigue.
If you wish it, and I am forgiven?
Forgiven?
Takes flower from dress.
Here, accept this as a peace offering.
Puts Sir Francis's flower into Spettigue's coat. Orchestra starts playing curtain music very softly, which swells to full volume as curtain falls. Sir Francis, indignantly.
My flower.
Crosses to Lord Fancourt and Spettigue. Charley and Amy, Jack and Kitty seated as before. Sir Francis offers left arm to Lord Fancourt.
Allow me, Donna-LUCIA.
No, allow me.
Offers right arm. Lord Fancourt hesitates, flutters eyelashes at them both, then chooses Spettigue's arm. They go towards chair right end of table. Sir Francis leaves them and goes up to chair right of table, which he holds ready for Lord Fancourt. Spettigue offers to take chair from Sir Francis. Between the two the chair is drawn back, and Lord Fancourt sits on floor. The others rise with screams and exclamations. Tableau. Curtain. End of Act 1, Part 2. Act 2, Part 1 of Charley's Aunt by Brandon Thomas. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 2. Dedication. While there's tea, there's hope. Arthur Wing Pinero. Scene. Exterior of Jack Chesney's rooms, St. Olde's College, Oxford. House piece showing part of college, with 2 casement windows on ground floor and 2 above, at back, with arch right center in continuation. View of quad beyond. Door with knocker and nameplate to rooms, running from house piece and showing through arch. Low wall joining this to arch, showing chapel down right through arch. Continuation of college up left. Window on first floor and small arch beneath running down stage. Arch down left to garden. Trees right and left and meeting overhead. Yellow sunlight, afternoon small round iron table center, with 2 first act chairs right and left of it. Victorian wicker or white iron may be substituted if preferred. Rustic chair up center, with cushions. Table left of it. Lights full up. Brassett discovered above table center with cigarette box, ashtray, and matchbox on salver. Places them on table center.
Well, we're sailing along.
Looks off left.
He makes a wonderful old lady, not a doubt about it.
With another look.
A bit singular to look at, perhaps. But then, look at some of your old ladies. Nobody'd believe 'em possible, and he doesn't seem a bit worse to look at than 2 or 3 I could mention holdin' very 'igh positions, too.
Looks off again.
Both the old gents have got their eye on her.
Amused.
Lor, if they only knew! I fancy Sir Francis his favourite, though old Spettigue fancies himself.
Chuckles loudly going down left.
Well, college gents'll do anything.
Enter Jack through arch right center, wearing straw hat. Sees Brassett. Jack coming down in front of table to Brassett, severely.
What are you laughing at, eh?
Beg pardon, sir. I was thinking of an old aunt of mine.
Eh?
Brassett respectfully.
Uncle, I mean.
Mind your own business, and go and get tea, do you see? Tea.
Tea, sir. Yes, sir.
Goes up to right center.
Out here.
Going left. Brassett turning, surprised.
Out here, sir?
Yes. Don't stare like that. It's all right. I've got special permission.
Oh, beg pardon, sir.
Exit through arch right center to rooms.
Well, now for Kitty. Where is she? Everything's going on all right at last.
Sits left of table center.
Babs frightened the life out of me 2 or 3 times at lunch, the way he walked into things as if he hadn't had food for a month. But we've got over the worst.
Looking off left.
All the same, I haven't been able to have my chat yet with Kitty, but now they're all nicely settled down, I've given her a hint to meet me here where we can talk quietly.
Enter Charley quickly, right center, looking off right. Jack rises, turns quickly, hearing footsteps.
Here she is.
Both raise hats, meet center, turn away in disgust.
Oh, hang it. I've a most particular appointment here with Kitty, so hook it.
But so have I, Jack.
With Kitty?
No, with Amy.
Then we've both made appointments in the same place. Confound it all. What are we to do?
Charley, sadly, crossing left.
Well, there are your rooms.
Jack, aggressively.
Yes, but you're my guest.
Suddenly and brightly.
Here, come on.
Feels in pockets, has nothing.
We'll toss for it.
They come center.
Got any money?
Charley brings out of pockets, knife, string, a key, and a halfpenny.
Halfpenny, that's all.
Jack takes halfpenny.
Sudden death.
Tosses.
Heads, you and Amy. Tails, me and...
Sees Kitty off left.
Here she is.
Pockets coin. Crosses to left center. Charley to Jack.
Jack, that's all the money I've got.
Enter Kitty left. Charley looks disgusted and goes right center.
Oh, Mr. Chesney, there you are.
Jack, with a look at Charley.
Yes, I'm here. In fact, waiting.
Another look at Charley. Aside to Kitty.
I was beginning to fear you wouldn't come.
Another look at Charley, then crosses to him.
Why don't you go? Have you no tact?
Enter Amy, right center. Charley to Jack, aside.
But what about me and Amy?
Amy, coming down right to Charley.
Oh, Mr. Wickham, there you are.
Yes, I was coming. I was waiting. I am here.
Going to Amy. Business of looks, etc. between Jack and Charley. Jack, aside.
Beastly awkward.
With sudden determination.
Oh, I say, Charley, have you shown Miss Spettigue all round the garden?
Charley, cloudily.
Yes, Jack, I have. 2 or 3 times. In fact, we've just come from there.
Aside to Amy.
I wish he'd leave us.
Jack, after a pause, to Amy.
Lovely garden, isn't it?
Yes, I suppose it is.
Jack, catching at it.
Suppose?
Goes behind Amy and Charley, taking them by the arm to left center.
Oh, you haven't half seen it. Charley, Miss Pettigrew hasn't half seen the garden.
Kitty goes up behind table to Arch right centre, watching with interest and amusement.
Take her and show her the roses and primroses and cabbages and things.
Amy wanders up, looks off up left. Charley stopping left centre.
But, Jack,
And Charley, tell Miss Pettigrew those beautiful lines of yours. To our garden in summer.
Charley aside to Jack anxiously.
Jack, don't tell her I write poetry. She'll think I'm an awful ass.
Amy comes down left again. Jack turning left to Amy.
And don't forget, Miss Pettigrew, tea here in half an hour.
Oh, very well, Mr. Chesney.
Exit slowly, left. Charley, following Amy, then turns back. Aside to Jack.
But, Jack, the others are in the garden, and it wears the life out of me to see Babs.
Kitty comes down centre table, sits right.
Well, don't. It's a large garden. Keep out of his way.
Pushing Charley off left. Exit Charley. Jack going behind table centre to Kitty.
At last, Miss Verdun, my dear Kitty, we are alone.
Kitty, teasing.
Don't you think it was rather selfish of us, Mr. Chesney, to send them away like that?
Well, we tossed for it.
Kitty, turning, in mock surprise.
What?
I mean, they'll be much happier together, alone. And it seems as if I could never get 5 minutes with you safe from some miserable interruption. Indeed, I was beginning to fear you'd think me very rude, neglecting you as I have done.
Kitty, an undercurrent of teasing running through all her scene.
Oh, no, not at all. I quite understand. I couldn't expect you to devote yourself entirely to me.
Rising and crossing left.
Indeed, we've had a very pleasant time, and now—
Yes, and now?
Following her down right of table.
I was thinking we ought to be going now.
Go? Now? Good gracious, no!
Kitty, with elevated eyebrows.
Why not?
Before I've had a word with you?
With enthusiasm.
Oh, my dear Miss Verdun, Kitty.
Approaching Kitty suddenly, left. About to put an arm round her waist. Kitty draws herself up and a little away in surprise, with a look of comic inquiry. Jack pulls himself up.
Won't you sit down?
Offers chair left centre, then goes behind centre table.
I have something to say to you of importance.
Kitty sits left of table centre.
Indeed, Mr. Chesney?
Yes.
Moving round right to front of table centre.
You know, Miss Verdun, there are times when a fellow's got to think a lot and think long.
I suppose so.
Putting right hand unconsciously on table. Jack, centre.
And there are times when a fellow mustn't stop to think, or if he does, he'll spoil his chance.
Yes?
Well then, Miss Verdun, Kitty, my dear Kitty.
About to take her hand. Enter Sir Francis left.
Oh, I beg pardon.
Jack moves right. Kitty rises to go.
No, don't mind me. I only wanted a word with my boy here.
Kitty to Sir Francis.
Oh, then I'll run into the garden.
Sir Francis crosses behind centre table up right. Kitty catches Jack's eye. He crosses to her left.
And see the roses and primroses and cabbages and things.
Exit left. Jack turning to centre.
Well, Dad, anything important?
Sir Francis coming down right to Jack, centre.
Yes, Jack, it is.
Oh? What is it?
You know I'd do anything to see you get on in the world and make a mark, as I know you will if you get your chance.
You needn't tell me all this, Dad.
Well, Jack, having thought it over, I've decided that you shall continue the career I originally mapped out for you, and seeing a way out of the difficulty, I've determined to take your advice, my boy, and marry a lady of wealth.
I see. You've fallen a victim to the fascinations of some young and lovely—
No, Jack, she's not lovely, and I'm afraid she is not over young, but she has one thing in her favor. She has money, which, after all, is the real object in this instance.
All right, Dad. As long as you are satisfied, go in and win.
And I have to thank you, my boy, for the tip.
Thank me for the tip? I don't remember, Dad. Who is she? What's her name?
You'll be delighted when I tell you.
Yes, well?
Can't you guess?
No, Dad, I can't.
Donna-LUCIA D'ALVADOREZ.
Slapping Jack on the shoulder and crossing left center.
What?
Goes right center. Aside.
The deuce!
Turning to Sir Francis.
Dad, this is impossible.
Impossible? Why, you yourself suggested it, and for your sake, my lad, I'm going to do it.
But, Dad, you can't.
Sir Francis, with a look off left.
Can't? Why not?
Gravely, moving a little nearer to Jack, center.
Is there anything against the lady's reputation?
No, but you mustn't. You can't.
Mustn't? Can't? Why, Jack, what a boy you are. Didn't you tell me to go to the hotel, change my things, put a flower in my buttonhole?
Lifting lapel of coat to indicate carnation.
And by George, Jack, I believe the flower's done the trick.
She gave it away, Dad.
My dear boy.
Slight nudge.
She's explained all that.
Goes upstage, left center, and returns downstage, very self-satisfied. Jack aside.
This is horrible.
Aloud.
But, Dad, circumstances have altered since then.
Sir Francis, coming center.
In what way?
You know you're too good. You're not the man to be thrown away like this.
Sir Francis, hand on Jack's shoulder.
Say no more, my boy. Your consideration for me settles it.
Crosses right.
It will put you forward years. Had she been young and lovely, she wouldn't have looked at me. As it is, I flatter myself that she's taken rather a fancy to me, and as for old Spettigue, in spite of his marked attentions, I don't think he has the ghost of a chance with me.
Goes up right center. Jack aside in horror, going down left center.
Old Spettigue, attention's great. Heavens, what are we doing?
Turning aloud.
Dad?
Sir Francis, by arch.
So wish me luck, Jack, wish me luck.
Take time, Dad. Think it over.
Sir Francis, heroically.
Think it over? That's not the way an old soldier makes love.
Briskly.
I'm going into your rooms to get myself a rattling good spanking brandy and soda to bring me up to the mark.
Exit Sir Francis to rooms. Jack crossing right.
Great Scott, what's the young monkey doing?
Enter Charley left, quickly. Charley crossing to Jack, right center.
Jack, I wish you'd speak to Babs. He's carrying on disgracefully. He's taken Amy away from me and gone off round the garden with her.
Well, that's nothing to what's going on here.
Cork pops loudly off in rooms. Both turn. Charley listens, surprised.
Hear that?
Yes? What is it?
My dad getting himself a rattling good spanking brandy and soda.
Brandy and soda? What for?
To propose. To Babs. That's all.
Goes down right. Charley goes center.
I knew something awful would come of this. We shall be found out and disgraced. How could you let it go on?
Jack coming center.
Well, don't blame me. It was the fault of your muddle-headed aunt not knowing her own mind and leaving us in the lurch.
Crossing.
I could strangle her.
Charley following Jack left, helplessly.
What shall we do?
We must find Babs and put him up to the governor's game.
Charley dazed.
Find Babs? But Jack!
Come on. We can go round the garden different ways until we've got him.
Pushing Charley across. Charley turning to Jack.
But Jack, can't you end this horrible?
Oh, shut up. We must keep our heads now, or we'll ruin everything. Come on.
Pushes Charley off left. Exits after Charley left. Re-enters Sir Francis from rooms. wiping mustache after his drink. Sir Francis, coming down right center.
Now, I'm ready for anybody or anything.
Looks at watch.
Why doesn't she come?
Crossing left center.
I didn't tell the dear boy, particularly when he raised objections, but she promised to meet me here in 10 minutes. And time's up. Time's up.
Looking off left. Enter Spettigue through arch up right center. Comes down looking off right. Does not see Sir Francis. Sir Francis hears step. Raising hat, turning center.
Oh, my dear Don.
Raising their hats, they meet center and turn away abruptly. Sir Francis aside.
That old fool Spettigue, and with my flower in his coat.
To Spettigue.
Are you, looking for anybody?
No.
Looks off right. Sir Francis aside.
What's he hanging about here for?
Aloud, struggling to be civil.
Are you in want of anything?
Lights cigarette out of box on table center. Sits. Spettigue, right.
No, I was only thinking it was a very lovely afternoon. Perhaps you haven't seen the garden. It's looking very beautiful. You ought to give it a good look before you go.
I will.
Blowing smoke.
Before I go.
Spettigue looks off right again. Sir Francis aside.
What is he stopping here for?
Aloud.
Have a cigarette?
No, thank you. I never smoke in the daytime.
Aside.
Why does he remain?
Looking at his watch.
She promised to meet me here in 10 minutes, and time's up. Time's up.
Going up arch to right center. Sir Francis aside.
What's he stopping for? I must tell him to go.
Spettigue aside.
I wish I could think of something to get rid of him.
Sir Francis aloud, rising, strolls right.
Well, as you are not smoking...
Oh, don't mind me.
Crossing behind table to up left, unconcernedly.
Don't mind me.
Sir Francis turning to Spettigue.
I was only thinking, perhaps it would be well if you rejoined the ladies in the garden. They might think it rude, both of us being away.
Sits right of table, holding up his cigarette. Spettigue, coming down left.
Perhaps so, perhaps so.
Aside, at left entrance.
She's in the garden.
Exit left. Sir Francis, rising.
Well, she doesn't appear to be coming. I think I'll go and have another.
Going up right center. Enter Jack, left.
I say, Dad, you haven't seen Donna-Lucia, have you?
Sir Francis, coming down right center.
No, Jack, I've not.
Jack, aside.
That's fortunate.
I'm waiting for her here.
Waiting for her? Here?
Yes, I've an appointment with her. I didn't tell you before, Jack, but she's due. In fact, she's overdue. So get out, my boy. Get out.
Looks off right. Jack, aside.
They mustn't meet till I've seen him.
Aloud.
Now I come to think of it, Dad, I saw her only a moment ago.
Oh, where?
Coming center. Jack, pointing off left.
In the garden.
In the garden?
Crossing left, hurriedly.
Hang it, I've just sent old Spettigue there.
Exit Sir Francis, left.
I know Babs isn't there, but where on earth has he got to?
Crossing right. Enter Charley, up left. Jack, hearing steps, turns. To Charley.
Well, have you found him?
Charley, coming down center dejectedly, hat on back of head.
No, I haven't. You?
No, and I've looked all over the place for him.
So have I. And the worst of it, he's got Amy with him. It's a shame.
I'll kill the little monkey when I get hold of him.
Charley, catching sight of Lord Fancourt and Amy off right. Swings Jack round, facing right.
Look at him. Isn't it too bad?
Enter Lord Fancourt and Amy, together right, arm in arm. Amy crosses to left of Charley.
Oh, Mr. Wickham, there you are. Did you think you'd lost us?
Yes, I'm afraid I did.
Moves with Amy to centre. Jack, right centre, aside to Lord Fancourt.
Where have you been with that girl, you fool?
Nowhere.
Stop where you are. I've something to tell you.
Oh, have you?
Flounces round, kicking out skirt backwards. Goes up to Arch, right centre.
Charley, has Miss Pettigrew seen the chapel?
Aside to Charley, as he passes him across to right.
Take her away while I tell Babs.
Aloud, walking between them to Arch, right.
You must see the chapel. It's an awfully pretty chapel.
Exit Amy, right. Lord Fancourt comes down left of Jack by Arch, right. Charley, about to exit, turns angrily.
Jack, I'll punch his head if he does it again.
Lord Fancourt comes aggressively to Charley. Jack between. Charley, irritated, strikes down at Lord Fancourt over Jack's shoulder. Lord Fancourt tips Charley's hat off jeeringly with his closed fan. Jack hustles Charley off right. Jack, turning savagely, stalks Lord Fancourt with long strides and without speaking to left. Lord Fancourt, backing before Jack to left.
What the deuce do you mean by this game?
What game?
You promised to help us.
Well, I'm doing my best.
Doing your best? Your business was to look after those two old chaps, and here you are.
Exasperated, turns and strides away right.
But I've no wish to argue.
Lord Fancourt follows closely in silence, striding in step behind Jack. Speaks when right centre.
No, I shouldn't argue if I were you.
Listen, I want to put you on your guard.
On my guard? Oh, thank you.
Yes. My dad's going to propose to you.
Oh, is he? That's all right.
Stops suddenly, centre.
Well, I'm not going to marry him for you or anybody else. I'll see you hanged first.
Jack, going to him.
Of course not, you idiot. All you've got to do is to be calm and refuse him.
Calm and refuse him? But a proposal puts anyone in a flutter. You know that.
All you've got to do is to remember that you're a real old lady.
How the dickens am I to remember that I'm a real old lady?
Lifts skirt and petticoat together, showing trousers to knees.
With my trousers on.
Jack, pulling down Lord Fancourt's skirt.
Never mind your trousers.
Looking off left.
Look out, here's the dad. I'm off.
Going up to Arch, right centre. Lord Fancourt following up after Jack, right centre, and grabbing him.
Yes, but what am I to say?
Looking toward left, anxiously.
I've never been proposed to before.
Jack, in archway.
Oh, say he's taken you by surprise, but whatever you do, mind you, refuse him.
Oh, yes, I'll refuse him.
Exit Jack through Arch to right. Lord Fancourt hides between Arch and door to rooms. Sir Francis enters left, looking at watch.
Really, it's too bad.
Crosses right, looks off.
She made the proposition herself.
Crossing up stage to left.
It was a definite proposition of her own. Well...
Coming down left.
Ladies are proverbial unpunctual, but...
Lord Fancourt, peeping round corner, appears in archway right centre, holding up finger with fichu, neckcloth, archly to Sir Francis.
Ooh, ooh.
Sir Francis turns, sees Lord Fancourt, raises hat. Lord Fancourt looks coyly at Sir Francis and swings end of fichu gaily round and round. Sir Francis, putting on hat again.
Ah, dear Donna Lucia, here you are. I was beginning to be afraid.
Crossing right.
And popped into the garden to find you.
Lord Fancourt, with long strides, steals quickly across to upper left entrance, and is nearly off as Sir Francis says,
It's so good of you to come.
Turns. Lord Fancourt, seeing Sir Francis turn, stops up left. His attempt to bolt is frustrated. Sir Francis sees Lord Fancourt at upper left entrance.
Won't you sit down?
Lord Fancourt sits left of centre table. Sir Francis aside.
By Jove, got her at last. Now for the plunge. I'll begin with a compliment.
Looks at Lord Fancourt, then away again.
I wonder what's her real age. However, a woman's never too old for a compliment, so here goes.
Coming to table, clears throat. Lord Fancourt clears throat too.
Nonna Lucia, you'll pardon the rude metaphor of an old campaigner, I'm sure, but to meet you to-day for the first time, as I have done, is to me like a lonely traveller coming across some bright little floweret.
Their eyes meet, indicating left.
By the wayside.
Lord Fancourt looks left, then to Sir Francis.
Do you mean me?
Yes, Donna Lucia, yes.
Goes down right, aside.
By George, that's a good start.
Lord Fancourt, aside.
What am I to say to that, I wonder?
Aloud.
Oh, yes. I think that's very nice and very kind of you.
Sir Francis turns away right, aside.
By George, she looks anything between 50 and 100.
Jack appears in arch at back, right centre, shakes fist at Lord Fancourt, who cocks a snook at him, unseen by Sir Francis. As Sir Francis turns, Lord Fancourt converts snook into stroking front hair, looking innocently at Sir Francis. Jack retires right, unseen by Sir Francis. Sir Francis, aside.
Well, I've put myself to it, so I must come to the point.
What? Again?
Sir Francis going to right of table. Aloud, bluffly.
Donna Lucia, do you know what a man longs for when he's lonely, desolate, and wretched?
A drink?
Sir Francis goes down right, aside.
What a woman doesn't help one bit.
Up to right of table. Aloud.
No, Donna Lucia. This is what he longs for. He longs to plant in his own heart that bright little floweret.
I know. By the wayside.
Pointing left.
That one. Does he really?
Sir Francis heartily.
Yes, Donna Lucia, yes.
With lover-like intention.
And I have come all the way from India to find that little floweret.
You must be tired.
Indicating chair.
Take a chair.
Thank you.
Sits left of table, centre. Puts hat, crown downwards, on table.
It's a long way, Donna Lucia.
Oh, quite a long walk.
But I have found it.
Then why don't you wear it in your buttonhole?
Pointing.
Will you let me, or will it be given away to another, as you did before?
Ah, yes, I remember. I was a naughty girl this morning.
Putting corner of fichu in mouth, shaking it to and fro coyly, and putting right hand unconsciously on table. Sir Francis looking away, cautiously.
But dear Lucia...
Places hand on that of Lord Fancourt's for a second, and giving it a pat. Then removes it, and looks off right again. Lord Fancourt taking hand off table, aside.
He's getting on.
The floweret, I mean, must sit at the head of my table, walk by my side, dwell in my heart forever.
Places right hand on heart, and with left hand slightly moves hat. Looks away right. Lord Fancourt, rising and looking quickly into hat, sits again, aside.
He's going to show me a conjuring trick.
Sir Francis, bluffly again.
But I'll waste no more words. I'll come to the point with a soldier's bluntness. Will you be my wife?
Quick gasp from Lord Fancourt.
Will you be my little floweret?
Well, you see...
Then remembering Jack's words.
You've taken me so much by surprise.
Then I may hope?
I'm afraid not. No, don't hope. I wouldn't hope if I were you.
I beg pardon, Donna Lucia. Do I understand?
Rises.
I must refuse you. The fact is, I am another's.
Another's?
Turns away right.
I say, don't be downhearted. I'll tell you what I'll do if you like.
Sir Francis turning eagerly.
Yes, yes.
I will be a sister to you.
A sister? Only a sister?
Only a sister, nothing more.
And no words of mine can alter your decision?
I'm afraid not. You see, I'm in a more peculiar position than I could ever explain. I am a woman with a history.
Then it is quite useless our prolonging this interview.
Goes to back of table.
And you will accept my regrets and...
Picks up hat and goes down left.
Apologies for ever having broached the subject.
Oh, certainly. Any time you're passing.
Sir Francis puts on hat. Aside.
Refused. What a relief. I'm sorry, though, for my boy's sake.
Sir Francis exits, left. Enter Jack, up right centre, from right. Lord Fancourt, rising.
Well, here's a nice position.
Jack, meeting Lord Fancourt, centre.
You fool! What did you want to make a fool of my dad like that for?
Lord Fancourt, rapidly.
I didn't make a fool of the fool, you fool. Did you hear what he called me?
Yes, a floweret.
Yes, by the wayside. That's a nice thing, isn't it?
Why didn't you cut him short and refuse him at once?
I couldn't refuse him until he proposed. No lady could. Why, I shall find myself in the divorce court before I know where I am.
Looks off, left. Sees Spettigue. Crossing quickly in front of Jack.
Look out, here's old Spettigue.
Turning to Jack again, pulls up sleeve, which shows shirt cuff, shaking fist.
I shall land him one. I know I shall. I'm off.
Takes up skirts and runs off quickly through archway down right. Jack in front of centre table. Enter Spettigue left. Spettigue to Jack as he enters.
Ah, Mr. Chesney, have you seen...
Sees Lord Fancourt off through archway down right.
Ah.
Absently pushes Jack, who sits suddenly on table centre. Spettigue exits hurriedly by archway right.
What the deuce did he bolt like that for? Anyhow, they don't wreck my future happiness.
Rising, looks off right.
I must find Kitty. Why couldn't Charley's aunt behave like a lady and turn up as she promised?
Going left.
Instead of giving us all this trouble. I hate the sight of her before I've even seen her.
Exit left. A pause. Donna-Lucia off.
First door to the left? Thank you very much.
Enter Donna-Lucia with open sunshade framing her head, and Ella by archway right centre, from right. Donna-Lucia is a well-preserved, beautiful, kindly woman of middle age, with a young face but grey hair. She has a keen sense of humour, and is capable of taking command of any situation. On no account sentimental, but with a deep feeling of real sentiment in her nature. This part should be played gaily, with a light, firm touch of comedy, amusement dominating her performance, and she dominating the situations from now on. Wears afternoon summer dress and coat to match, hat and gloves, and carries several visiting cards in her purse bag. Ella Delahaye is a young, pretty, unaffected little girl of 17 or 20. Also has a sense of humour and high spirits. This part should not be played either sloppily or sentimentally. Wears summer dress and hat, and carries purse bag and gloves. Donna-Lucia looks round, then crosses behind table to left.
The first door to the left, the man said, Ella.
Ella at door upright centre.
Yes, here it is.
Reads on door.
Mr. John Chesney.
To Donna-Lucia.
Shall I knock?
Yes, do, my dear.
Ella knocks. Donna-Lucia, coming down left centre, thoughtfully.
Chesney. The name sounds familiar.
To Ella.
Why couldn't my nephew remain in his rooms, and not compel me to follow him about like this?
Ella, coming right centre.
You telegraphed to say you couldn't come.
Donna-Lucia, smiling.
I know, my dear.
And then you changed your mind.
Donna-Lucia, moving to left of table.
Yes, for about the first time in my life.
Why?
Some vague desire to see him without his knowing. Knock again, dear.
Closes sunshade. Ella knocks. Ella coming down right.
The porter said they might all be in the garden.
With childlike enthusiasm.
I could roam about these old places all day. Isn't it all beautiful?
looking about excitedly.
Dream away, Ella. I shall wait till someone comes.
Sits left of table. Ella right center, looking round, thrilled, quickly.
Oh, to live among these leafy shades, ancient spires and sculptured nooks, like silent music. A scholar's fairyland.
Donna Lucia with quiet humor.
But to one poor sublunary being, not quite so young as she used to be, a little fatiguing.
Ella behind right chair of center table, impetuously to Donna Lucia.
And how lovely it must be by moonlight, where the shadows have no sudden fears, but are only folds in the mantle of sleep, and all is peace. And the silver bells chime to the sentinel angel of the night, who smiles to heaven and whispers back, "All's well, sweet bells, all's well."
You fanciful little woman. But what has put all this about angels and so forth into your head today?
Ella going behind table to center, absently.
Oh, I don't know.
Donna Lucia, teasingly.
Oh, I think I can trace back all the little byways and sly ways of thought that generally lead in one direction.
Ella going quickly to left of Donna Lucia, and kneels.
Oh no, it's all so sweet here.
Donna Lucia mischievously.
So it was there, by moonlight, seen from the bridge of a certain yacht, the rippling sea, the blue night and brilliant stars. You see how I remember your words. And a certain someone who told you, as you listened to the chime of the ship's bell, that you looked like the angel of the watch. He was a flattering-tongued person, that someone. What was his name again?
Ella looking down shyly.
I've told you so often.
Donna Lucia looking straight ahead with a smile.
Lord Fancourt Babberley.
Fraction of a pause. To Ella.
But I don't want your mind fixed on these things, my dear. Why, I'd almost forgotten to tell you, I've invested your poor father's money for you, and thanks to his forethought for his little girl, he has rendered you independent for life, and, what is worse, independent of me.
Ella thoughtfully.
Independent?
But you won't be, Ella.
Ella affectionately.
No.
For I've grown to love the little orphan I met in such grief in a strange land so much that I am not independent of her. So let's make a bargain. Put that dreadful evidence of my dependence aside, and let it grow, and be my little girl and call me Auntie, will you?
Ella rising and kissing Donna Lucia.
Yes, Auntie, yes.
Going behind chair right center. Slight pause.
How did your poor father come to have so large a sum of money by him like that? I thought he'd lost it all.
Ella diffidently.
Papa won it at cards.
Won it at cards? When?
Ella looking down.
During his illness.
From whom?
Ella reluctantly.
From Lord Fancourt Babberley.
Oh, is Lord Babberley a gambler too?
No.
Donna Lucia, seeing the position and smiling to herself.
Oh.
Slight pause. Ella eagerly.
But, Auntie, if we ever meet, may I give it back?
I don't think he'd take it.
Why not?
It seems to me he took too much trouble to lose it. But I'm not going to speak for him. I don't want you ever to leave me.
Pause.
Ah, my dear. You've set me thinking now.
Have I? What about?
Ella crosses back to left of Donna Lucia.
Oh, All about someone who...
Oh, do tell me.
Kneels.
It was before I went abroad to Brazil. I was very young and he was very shy. He never called me the Angel of the Watch, but he did get as far as a stammering compliment and a blush, and then...
And then?
Donna Lucia, with a mock, heroic wave of the hand.
Then he was ordered off with his regiment.
Ella, with slight diffidence.
Without ever?
Without ever.
With finality. Ella, regretfully.
Oh, Auntie.
Sits back on heels, looking up at Donna Lucia. Tiny pause. Donna Lucia, softly, reminiscently, with slight touch of sentiment, almost like a young girl.
It was at a dance, the evening before he went away.
Ella keeps same tone as Donna Lucia, so as not to break her memory.
And you've never loved anyone since?
Donna Lucia, smiling quietly.
I was a sentimental young lady in those days.
What was his name, Auntie?
Frank Chesney.
Rises, recollecting, with quick glance towards door.
How strange.
Ella rises, up right center. Enter Sir Francis, left. Donna Lucia, turning to Sir Francis.
Oh, I'm afraid we're intruding.
Oh, not at all.
Raising his hat and crossing with a slight bow, right.
The college grounds are open to everyone.
Crosses right.
I am, so to speak, at home here, merely because these are my son's rooms.
Turns to Donna Lucia, indicating rooms with a step towards right center.
Mister?
Sir Francis, stopping down right.
Chesney.
Ella goes quietly up left, turns, and watches scene.
And you, pardon my asking, are you, or rather were you, Lieutenant Frank Chesney?
Sir Francis, interested.
I was.
And you don't remember me?
I acknowledge with regret that I have, no recollection whatever.
But sounding as though he wished he had.
It must be more than 20 years since.
Turning to Ella, who has come down left center. Sir Francis, a little let down by the time, and trying to recall.
20 years.
Donna Lucia, aside to Ella, with mock concern.
He doesn't remember me.
Taking out several cards from card case and looking them through.
20 years is a long time, Auntie.
Sir Francis, facing audience down right, aside.
20 years? Where was the regiment then, I wonder?
Donna Lucia reads card.
Mrs. Beverly Smythe.
Aside to Ella.
Everyone's card but my own, of course.
Puts it under case. To Sir Francis.
Then you've forgotten the day you first embarked for India?
No.
But you've forgotten the evening before?
Sir Francis, with a smile of recollection.
No.
Donna Lucia, holding out hand.
Then?
Sir Francis, slowly surprised and delighted.
Lucy!
Takes off hat with left hand, going to Donna Lucia and taking her hand.
Good gracious!
Ella goes up left, turns and watches scene sympathetically. Sir Francis, growing quietly excited.
And to think that at that very dance... but you don't remember that, of course?
Lets go her hand, puts on hat again.
No?
No, because you never knew. But that night, by George, I nearly made you an avowal that,
Looking at her admiringly.
And we've never met in all that time? Nearly...
Sees her pretended dismay.
Well, over 20 years, we'll say.
Donna Lucia, smiling.
I'm afraid so.
Ella comes down left center.
I remember the dance perfectly. You were in white, tied up with blue.
Donna Lucia, laughing, to Ella.
Tied with blue, like a chocolate box.
Sir Francis, with enthusiasm.
You must see my son. He's a splendid fellow.
Turning and going a little upstage.
These are his rooms, or rather, he has lent them to a college friend, a young fellow named Wykeham.
Returning right center. Donna Lucia, interested.
Yes? Wykeham?
Who is entertaining some ladies, 2 young ladies.
Donna Lucia smiles at Ella.
And his aunt.
Donna Lucia, puzzled, turns to Sir Francis.
His aunt?
A lady from Brazil.
Donna Lucia, astonished, looks front.
From Brazil?
Yes, Donna Lucia D'ALVADOREZ. I must introduce you.
Goes up right a step or 2. Ella, quickly, aside to her.
Auntie, what does he mean?
Sir Francis returns down right. Donna Lucia, aside to Ella.
Wait a minute, my dear.
Turning to Sir Francis.
Do I understand you to say that Donna Lucia D'ALVADOREZ is here? Actually here?
In the garden.
With look off right.
Or was 5 minutes ago. Do you know her?
I've heard of her.
Turning center. Aside, half to Ella and half to herself.
Shall I stay and see this out, or return to town and...
Absently fingering card.
May I trouble you?
Holding out hand for card. Donna Lucia, with quick look at Sir Francis, gives wrong card.
Certainly.
Sir Francis, reading.
Mrs. Beverly Smythe.
Crossing behind table to left. Ella going to Donna Lucia.
Auntie.
Shh.
Sir Francis down left.
I'll find Donna Lucia and the boys, or perhaps you wouldn't mind coming into the garden to them.
Donna Lucia, picking up sunshade by table. Crossing Ella to center.
With pleasure. I am quite curious to see them.
To Sir Francis, introducing.
My niece, Miss Delahay.
How do you do?
Colonel...
Sir Francis, slight bow.
Sir Francis Chesney.
At left entrance.
Come, Ella.
Ella and Donna Lucia exit left. Sir Francis, at left entrance, replaces hat on head enthusiastically.
Ah, Jack, my boy, if that had been Donna Lucia, things might have been very different.
Exits left after them. End of Act 2, Part 1. Act 2, Part 2 of Charley's Aunt by Brandon Thomas. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 2, Part 2. Enter Lord Fancourt right. Runs rapidly across stage, holding up skirts in front, only so that Spettigue following does not see trousers, and exits left. Enter Spettigue right. Runs across stage, out of breath, top hat wobbling perilously, and exits left, following Lord Fancourt. Enter Brassett from house. Stops in archway with tablecloth. Sees Lord Fancourt and Spettigue. Comes down and looks off left after them.
What's his lordship up to with the old gent now? Looks as if they were having a game of some kind. I think it's very dangerous, running about like that. I'm not sure I didn't catch sight of his lordship's trousers.
Takes cigarette box off center table, and puts it on table at back. Enter Jack and Kitty, right. Jack, entering left of Kitty, talking ardently.
And now here we are at last. No one here, and I can speak to you. Kitty, my dear Kitty.
Brassett, behind center table, lays cloth. Kitty sees Brassett, aside to Jack.
But Jack, look!
Kitty crosses to left, behind Brassett. Jack turns, sees Brassett, goes to him right, aside.
What are you doing, Brassett?
Laying the cloth for tea, sir.
Go away!
But you gave orders, sir.
Goes slowly behind Jack, to right. Kitty drops down left center.
Put it back for half an hour. Quick, man. Can't you see I'm engaged?
Brassett right center. Jack center, standing behind table. Brassett, looking from Kitty to Jack.
Really, sir?
Looks at Kitty, then to Jack.
I congratulate you.
Kitty turns away left, to hide laughter.
Busy, confound you. Get out and don't come back.
Quickly puts tea-cloth over Brassett's head, pushing him off through door to rooms. Brassett exits to rooms. Kitty goes left of center table and sits. Jack, coming behind table to Kitty.
And now, my dear Kitty.
Yes, Jack, you've said that before.
Now don't interrupt me. I go straight at most things, and I'm not going to hesitate over this.
Is it that you attach so much importance to it, or is it that you don't care what you do?
It's both mixed. So, Kitty, my dear Kitty.
Kitty, still chaffingly, looking up at him.
Yes, Jack?
Ah, Kitty, do be serious. In a few hours you'll be hundreds of miles away, and it may be years before we meet again. Unless...
Kitty, still mischievously.
Unless?
Another upward look at him.
What?
Jack, swallowing it.
Will you listen?
Kitty, with mock helplessness.
I can't help myself.
Jack sits right of table, seriously.
I've told you how my father intended me for Parliament and all that.
Yes?
Well, he tells me now that for the next few years I shall have to give up all that and earn my own living.
Well, that will do you no harm, Jack.
Jack, brightly, much encouraged.
No, that's how I look at it. I've done well up here. I've worked hard, and work tells wherever you are. So, I intend to turn to and come out all right one way or another.
Rising, going down right. Aside.
I've broken the ice at last.
Goes up quickly to arch, right center. Kitty, aside, quickly.
The dear fellow.
Jack, aside, looking off to right.
I hope they'll keep away.
Kitty, chaffingly over shoulder to Jack, upright.
I'm sure I wish you every success.
Jack coming to back of table.
Of course, in time I shall be all right, but the question is, will you wait?
Wait?
Looking full at him.
What for?
Jack, disconcerted, drawing to right of table, quickly and nervously.
No, I beg pardon, I didn't mean that.
Oh, you didn't mean it?
Jack, bravely.
No, what I really mean is that, before I say anything further, I should like you to understand.
His courage melting.
What I've been telling you.
Kitty, after a little pause.
Oh, yes.
Cruelly.
What was that?
Jack sits right of table.
Well, to be practical and lay everything fairly before you, my position in life will be something in,
The city.
Thanks. My home,
Suburban.
Thanks. Exactly. Transit.
Bus or rail?
My personal income.
Small.
My extra income.
Precarious.
But under certain conditions, my fears would be nil and my hopes tremendous.
Enthusiastically. Rising.
Now you know all.
Sits.
That's how I stand.
Kitty pointedly, nodding to chair.
Oh, that's how you stand.
Jack rising.
Oh, Kitty.
Goes right, looks off. Aside quickly.
It's my duty to tell her all.
Going up right center to arch, looking off right. Kitty aside quickly.
The dear fellow.
Jack looking off right, shaking fist. Aside.
I'll kill anyone who comes now.
Kitty affecting a kindly but unconcerned interest.
Well, I hope those happy conditions will be realized to your heart's content.
Jack coming down to left of Kitty, sincerely.
Kitty, my dear Kitty, they will never be realized without you.
Kitty rises, goes a little to center.
Without me?
Jack draws back apologetically, goes down left.
Now you're vexed with me. You hate the city, you despise the suburbs, you loathe buses.
Kitty reprovingly and affectionately, turning, facing Jack left.
Why should you say that, Jack?
Jack turning in wonder.
Kitty.
Kitty in front of center table.
As if I hadn't the heart to do what thousands of better girls than I have done.
Jack a step towards her, surprised.
Kitty.
Kitty sitting on edge of table.
As if I couldn't guess all the happy fun that is to be got out of cooking and mending and ministering to the wants and happiness of the man who will work and strive for the woman he loves.
Jack hopefully, going a step nearer.
Then, Kitty?
Kitty rising, holding out hand.
Try me, Jack, for I love you dearly.
Jack taking both her hands.
You do, Kitty? You do?
As much?
Teasing again.
As much as you love me, Jack.
Jack exultantly.
Kitty!
Going to kiss her. Kitty facing Jack laughingly.
Ha ha ha! My dear Kitty.
My dear Kitty. You're a brick.
Jack puts his arms round Kitty and kisses her. Kitty then runs up right center, looks off, and Jack goes down left center. Jack exultantly.
I've done it!
Facing audience down left.
I've done it! In spite of the lot of them.
Goes up left, walks up and down delightedly. Kitty turns, and seeing Jack walking up and down, she laughs. Kitty comes down right center.
But what about my guardian, Mr. Spettigue?
Jack, coming center, puts arm round Kitty. Both sit on table center. Jack, decisively.
I'll see him at once.
Kitty alarmed.
No, that won't do.
Won't do?
No, I must have his consent in writing.
In writing? Why?
So that he can't retract.
Crossing left.
You don't know him as well as I do. Now, there's only one person who can get that written consent for us, so be a good boy and send her to me at once.
Crossing Jack to left. Jack rising.
What, Amy?
Kitty returning left center.
No, Charley's aunt, Donna Lucia.
Jack staggered.
Donna Lucia? But Kitty...
Now don't ask questions, there's a good boy, but send her to me at once while I find Amy.
Exits left. Jack crosses right.
Where are we now? This can't go on.
Looks off right. Enter Charley left, running. Bangs Jack on the back.
I've done it! Jack, I've done it!
Done what?
Meeting Charley right center.
I've let the cat out of the bag and told her everything.
You fool!
Backing Charley to center, holding him by coat.
What for? Told her what?
Charley surprised.
That I allow her?
Jack with relief, letting him go.
Oh, is that all?
Charley, changing tone.
Yes, but Jack, she's gone off to find Donna Lucia to get her uncle's consent. We shall be in the dickens of a mess yet.
Well, keep cool, man, keep cool. We're all right up to now. We're all right up to now.
Both coming down right center, beyond table. Enter Lord Fancourt left, running. No fan this entrance. Doubles between boys right center, and hides behind center arch, left side of it. Boys, catching sight of Spettigue left, go up right center, trying to look unconcerned. Enter Spettigue left. Spettigue strolls across stage, humming, out of tune.
When and how shall I earliest meet her? What are the words she'll first say to me?
Exits right. Boys watch Spettigue off over their shoulders, then cross to arch left, and bring Lord Fancourt down. Jack right, Charley left of Lord Fancourt.
You'll drag us into awful disgrace.
Lord Fancourt between them center.
And a damn good job, too. You don't know the things he keeps on saying to me.
Jack abusively.
He who?
Why, my mash. Old Spettigue.
Jack impatiently.
Well, what does he say?
Yes? What does he say?
Lord Fancourt with a look at Charley.
No, Charley's too young.
Pushes Charley away, whispers to Jack. Charley, looking sulky, tries to hear.
Get out, man, that's nothing.
No, but it's very embarrassing. Look how well I get on with the girls.
Yes, confound you, too well.
Oh, do I?
Kicks skirt out of his way as he turns. Goes up and puts brooch on table, back. Then leans against arch right, feet crossed. Charley with sudden frenzy.
Jack, I can live this lie no longer.
Sits left of table, center. Jack shouting aggressively.
Now don't start that. Some lies have got to be lived.
What for?
Jack savagely.
To save confessing them, you duffer.
Sits right of table. Charley despairingly.
I wish to goodness you bring it all to an end.
So do I. I want a drink.
Jack working himself up. To Charley, but spoken at Lord Fancourt.
We'd be all right if that donkey would only be reasonable and behave like a lady.
I know all that, but he can't. He doesn't know how.
As it is, the selfish idiot's ruining and spoiling everything.
Lord Fancourt listens to this abuse, looking hurt. Takes off fichu and flings it down in silence.
I wish we'd asked Freddie Peel now.
At any rate, Freddie Peel would have stood by us like a man.
Lord Fancourt undoing dress.
We were fools to trust him.
The selfish little beast.
Lord Fancourt lets dress slip to the ground and steps over it.
When you think of all the miseries he's put us to.
Lord Fancourt takes off petticoat and steps over that, looking injured with hands in his pockets.
I feel so infernally indignant. I could wring his head off.
Lord Fancourt, downright, turns back to audience, stands grinning, hands in trouser pockets, facing boys, defying them. He is now in shirt sleeves, waistcoat, and trousers, but still wearing wig, bonnet, and mittens. Charley seeing Lord Fancourt.
Look at him now.
Lord Fancourt bolts through archway up right center, followed by Jack, who picks up petticoat and fichu. Charley picks up dress round back of scene. Re-enter right after a second, followed by Spettigue. Exit up right center again. They re-enter down right, still running same order, cross stage to up left. Exit Lord Fancourt up left as Spettigue re-enters right. Jack and Charley stop up left. They quickly hide, dress, etc. behind their backs. Spettigue to Jack breathlessly.
Ah, Mr. Chesney, have you seen Donna Lucia?
Jack and Charley point off left.
In the garden.
Exit Spettigue left. Jack and Charley up left and return dragging Lord Fancourt down center. Charley right of him, Jack left. Lord Fancourt center throwing them off.
Here, you chaps. I won't stand this any longer. Let's Charley have a go.
Charley goes down right. Jack puts fichu half in left coat pocket, gets petticoat ready to put over Lord Fancourt's head. Lord Fancourt puts his hands in pockets in sulky refusal. Jack drops skirt over Lord Fancourt's head and tries to fasten it round his waist while standing behind him, finding it won't meet, comes forward to see the cause and makes Lord Fancourt take his hands out of his pockets.
Take your hands out of your pockets.
Lord Fancourt does so, and petticoat falls to the ground. Jack pulls it up. Lord Fancourt fastens it.
Here are your braces.
Jack hands right elastic brace to Lord Fancourt, who lets it slip, hitting Jack in the eye. Jack gives brace again. Lord Fancourt fastens it while Jack takes left brace, turns toward left entrance, looking off anxiously. Brace springs out of his hand and hits Lord Fancourt. Jack grins. Lord Fancourt goes down left. Jack crosses right to Charley. Picks up bottom of dress, which Charley is holding by the shoulders with sleeves hanging down. Lord Fancourt, turning, sees them holding dress horizontally, runs and dives into it, then shakes Charley by the hand as his arm comes out of right sleeve. When Lord Fancourt gets his collar fastened, Jack speaks.
Just when we want old Spettigue in his best humour, you go and risk everything by this fool of a game.
Lord Fancourt doing up dress.
What fool of a game? I'm not going to marry old Spettigue. I could never be happy with a man like that.
You know, Babs, if it was your girl, we'd do anything for you.
Where's my antimacassar?
Jack putting fichu round Lord Fancourt.
And all you think of is running after our girls, confound you.
Charley, am I all right behind?
Straightening down his things, turns back to audience, and gives his skirt a final flirt out behind with both hands. All go up right center, as though to exit. Charley looks left.
Look out, here are the girls.
They stop. Lord Fancourt crosses left behind table to left centre. Enter Kitty and Amy left. Kitty going to left centre by table.
Oh, Donna Lucia, we've been looking for you everywhere.
Indicating chair left of table to Jack, taking Lord Fancourt's arm and leading him down left centre.
Amy and I want so much to speak to you.
Amy having taken Lord Fancourt's left arm.
We're in a difficulty.
A difficulty?
Charley goes left of Amy. Jack brings chair from left of table and places it behind Lord Fancourt left centre, then goes to right of Kitty.
And we want you to be an angel.
Aside to Jack.
Now, Jack, do go away.
Yes, Charley, do go away.
Lord Fancourt to boys.
Go away. They want me to be an angel.
Jack and Charley go up left centre. Kitty kneels right of Lord Fancourt. Amy left. Kitty to Lord Fancourt.
You know Amy's uncle, Mr. Spettigue, is my guardian, and under my father's will gets nearly all my money if I marry without his consent.
And you know Jack and Kitty are in love with each other, and Jack's lost all his money or something.
Kitty getting quicker.
For years and years.
Lord Fancourt looks at each in turn. Amy, and quicker.
And Kitty wants you to...
No, wait a moment, Amy dear.
Lord Fancourt to Amy.
Yes, wait a moment, Amy dear.
Places his arm round Amy.
It's her turn now.
Jack restrains Charley from punching Lord Fancourt. Amy to Kitty.
Now it's your turn.
Lord Fancourt to Kitty.
Yes, now it's your turn.
Places arm round Kitty. Charley prevents Jack from hitting Lord Fancourt.
And Amy and Charley are in love with each other too, but you don't object, do you?
Rises.
Oh no, my dears.
Amy rises. Kitty and Amy together, kissing Lord Fancourt.
You old dear! You dear thing!
They go up together and look off up left. Jack and Charley come down right and left of Lord Fancourt and punch him. Kitty and Amy return to right and left of Lord Fancourt. Kitty to Jack.
Now, Jack, do go away.
Amy to Charley.
Yes, go away, Charley.
Lord Fancourt between girls.
Yes, go away. We three girls want to be alone.
Jack and Charley go up left centre. Kitty kneels right, Amy left as before. Charley aside to Jack.
I must end this. I must do something.
Well, go and look after the tea.
Exit Charley, right centre to rooms.
I must bring them all and stop this.
Exit hurriedly up left. Kitty to Lord Fancourt.
Now first, you know where we left off, don't you?
Yes, you're all in love and want to get married.
Well, yes.
And we want Uncle's consent.
And yours. And we want you to be an angel and do it.
An angel and do it? Do what?
Kitty a little anxiously.
Why, get Mr. Spettigue's consent.
For both of us.
Oh, for both of you.
Yes, first, you see, you'll give your consent to Charley and Amy, won't you?
Lord Fancourt to Amy.
Oh, yes. Nothing could be nicer.
You are so kind, but I knew it from the first.
Lord Fancourt to Amy.
Would you like me to be one of your bridesmaids?
They look away embarrassed and sit back on their heels.
No, some other time.
Well, now we want you to get his consent, but mine, being a legal affair, you understand, don't you?
Oh, yes. Your father's will, you mean?
Yes, his consent must be in writing.
In writing?
And you must get it.
Lord Fancourt blandly.
Get it?
Yes, you must make him write a letter or something.
Oh, but my dears, I've no influence over him.
Oh, but you're so clever and kind.
And so rich.
Oh, yes, and so rich. I remember I gave away half a crown on this morning.
At any rate, you must try.
Oh, dear Donna Lucia, do say you will try.
We are going away.
Oh, my darlings, don't leave me.
Puts his arms round them.
Yes, we're going to Scotland.
Scotland? I know. A beautiful country where the whiskey comes from.
Movement of surprise from girls. Lord Fancourt takes his arms away.
and you are our only hope.
Oh, Donna Lucia, have you ever been in love?
Oh, yes, dozens of times.
Movement of surprise from girls.
I mean, once in love, always in love, you know.
Kitty rises.
Then you know what it means to us, don't you?
I should rather think I did.
And you'll get his consent for us, won't you?
Amy rises.
Well, I'll do my best.
Kitty goes centre.
You can't say no now.
Crosses behind Lord Fancourt to Kitty centre.
No, not now.
Then we'll find Mr. Spettigue.
Taking Amy's arm, going right.
And send him to you at once.
Exeunt Kitty and Amy quickly right. Lord Fancourt rising, going right.
Well, here's a deuce of a mess.
Enter Brassett from rooms right centre. Slight pause as they catch each other's eye and smile.
Oh, I say, Brassett, can you get me a brandy and soda? No, here's old Spettigue coming.
Brassett crosses above table and replaces chair beside left table, from down left, taking cushions from chair and placing them in chair at back. Exits into rooms right centre. Enter Spettigue left, wearing property top hat with tin lining. Spettigue places hat, crown down, on chair left of table centre. To Lord Fancourt.
Ah, there you are, dear Donna Lucia.
Behind table.
I have been looking for you all the afternoon.
Enter Donna Lucia, left.
I have so much to say to you.
Donna Lucia, coming left centre.
Mr. Spettigue! Mr. Spettigue!
Spettigue turns.
Will you introduce me?
Spettigue aside.
How annoying! Why couldn't she have kept away?
Aloud.
Oh, certainly. Donna Lucia, Mrs. Buttercup Smith, Donna Lucia D'ALVADOREZ.
Goes up left.
How do you do?
Comes centre. They shake hands, meeting centre.
I'm Charley's aunt from Brazil. Where the nuts come from.
Donna Lucia to Lord Fancourt, smiling.
How do you do? Do you know I'm most interested in meeting you?
Really?
I knew your late husband. Intimately.
Enter Charley right centre in archway. Spettigue goes down left. Lord Fancourt turns to fly, but is met by Charley in arch right centre. Donna Lucia crosses down right, smiling wickedly. Charley stopping him, aside to Lord Fancourt.
Whatever's the matter, Babs?
Lord Fancourt in terror, pointing.
She knew my late husband intimately.
Dashes across to upper left entrance. Enter Jack up left. Meets Lord Fancourt at upper left entrance. Jack stopping him, to Lord Fancourt.
Well, how are you getting on? Everything's all right, isn't it?
No, she knew my late husband intimately.
The deuce!
Enter Brassett from rooms with tea, which he puts on table centre, and goes to chair upstage. Enter Kitty and Amy from left through arch right centre. Meet Charley there up right centre. Jack holding Lord Fancourt.
Look out. Here's the tea.
Well, what of it?
Brassett puts chair from up centre behind table. Jack aside to Lord Fancourt.
You must entertain.
Tucks Lord Fancourt's arm in his, and leads him to table. Aloud, pleasantly, crossing behind Lord Fancourt.
Now, Donna Lucia, will you pour out tea?
Kitty and Amy cross back to left, followed by Charley. Stand talking. Charley centre, Amy left and Kitty right of him. Jack offers chair right of table to Donna Lucia, and stands right of Lord Fancourt centre.
Oh, certainly.
Donna Lucia sits right of table. Spettigue down left, aside.
What a cruel interruption! We were getting on so nicely.
Do we all take tea?
Lord Fancourt neatly pours tea into first cup left, then into one other. Amy takes it, goes down left, gives it to Spettigue. She rejoins Kitty and Charley up left centre. Donna Lucia to Lord Fancourt.
You haven't been in England long, have you?
Jack rapidly, aside to Lord Fancourt.
Change the subject.
Lord Fancourt to Donna Lucia.
Change the subject.
Lord Fancourt deliberately pours tea into Spettigue's hat on chair left of table, very neatly without spilling any, all the time talking over his shoulder to Donna Lucia. Jack aside to Lord Fancourt.
No, do you take sugar and cream?
Lord Fancourt to Jack.
No. Do you take sugar and cream?
Jack aside to Lord Fancourt, losing patience.
Ask her if she takes sugar and cream.
Nodding towards Donna Lucia. Lord Fancourt to Donna Lucia, aloud.
Ask her if she takes sugar and cream.
Jack catches sight of tea and hat, and pulls Lord Fancourt's sleeve. General consternation from all except Spettigue, who does not see tea and hat. Lord Fancourt stops pouring tea into hat, and replaces teapot on tray, as Spettigue says, Turns, comes left of table, and unconsciously holding cup directly over hat.
I think I should like a little sugar and cream, Donna Lucia.
Lord Fancourt pours cream into cup, then into hat, talking to Spettigue meanwhile. Spettigue, suddenly discovering tea and hat, puts cup on table, and lifts up hat.
My hat! My hat!
Donna Lucia rises, goes right. Lord Fancourt puts down milk jug, looks apologetically concerned, and takes hat.
I beg your pardon.
He makes 3 circular movements with hat to mix the milk and tea, opens lid of teapot, pours tea back into teapot, again without spilling any, hands hat back to Spettigue. Spettigue takes hat. Lord Fancourt taps bottom of it. Brassett takes hat from Spettigue, who turns away left, wiping eye. Lord Fancourt gaily flips down lid of teapot and sits. Brassett exits to rooms with hat. Sir Francis enters right, joins Donna Lucia down right. Spettigue aside.
I must keep her in the humour. I must see her alone. I have it. They must come to dinner. After dinner, that's the time for my purpose.
Turning aloud.
Pardon me, but I have a little proposition to make.
Lord Fancourt rising.
Hear, hear.
Jack pushes him down again.
And I can't take no.
Orchestra starts playing very, very softly, same melody as in Act 1. Gradually swells into full volume as the curtain falls. Re-enter Brassett, right center. Sir Francis enters arch right, joins Donna Lucia down right. Brassett announcing.
Mr. Spettigue's carriage.
Exit Brassett, right center.
Ah, capital, the very thing. Now I want you, all of you, to come and stay and dine at my house.
Oh, yes, Uncle.
That would be delightful.
How nice of you.
Thanks awfully,
Grand idea.
sir.
Spettigue to Lord Fancourt.
You will return with me in the carriage now, Donna Lucia.
Lord Fancourt rises.
I can't. It's impossible.
I will take no denial. I want you, all of you, to come.
Enter Ella, arch right center. Donna Lucia down right.
I have my niece with me, Miss Delahay.
Lord Fancourt looks scared, rises.
Miss Delay.
He must get hold of each side of his dress skirt only, without catching up petticoat too, preparatory to throwing skirt overhead later.
Bring her. Delighted.
Lord Fancourt coming center to Spettigue, unconsciously almost shaking his skirts.
No, no, I can't. My things. My things.
Turns, meets Ella center. As Lord Fancourt says, "No, no, I can't," Ella starts to speak too. Ella looking up at sound of his voice.
That voice.
Running down to center.
It is.
Meets Lord Fancourt center as he turns to meet her. Greatly surprised.
Oh.
Turns away disappointed to Donna Lucia.
No.
Music swells to crescendo. Lord Fancourt puts skirt over his head, falls back into Spettigue's arms. Spettigue catches hint. Jack kneels at Lord Fancourt's feet and holds down skirt, hiding feet with hat. Tableau. Curtain. End of Act 2, Part 2. Act 3 of Charley's Aunt by Brandon Thomas. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information, or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 3. Dinner Lubricates Business. Boswell's Johnson. Scene. Drawing room, Spettigue's house. 3 large French windows opening into garden centre. Large double doors right to open off stage. Fireplace left. Door down left below fireplace. Upright piano left centre with screw piano stool, revolving stool. Bookcase and china cabinet right and left. Small bureau upright. Down right centre, clover-shaped ottoman with centre pillar, Victorian rattan. Single chair down right below doors. Single chair between each of the sets of French windows, centre. Gas chandelier or gas brackets on walls. Oil lamp on the bureau, oil standard lamp by piano. Old-fashioned portraits on walls, flowers in bowls, cushions, etc. Victorian sofa below piano left, with cushions. Victorian window curtains and velvet overmantel, typically Victorian. Curtain over door down left, looped up in Victorian manner. The room to be a comfortable sitting room in a house in North Oxford. But as it is owned by a man of 60, the furniture is obviously round about 1850. Lights half down inside scene. Full up when lamp is on. Moonlight streams into room diagonally right to left, alternate green and blue in batten on cloth outside. Orchestra plays first 16 bars of the Eton boating song. As the curtain starts to rise, the next 15 bars are played softly, till they fade out. Brassett discovered with taper lighting candles. Laughter off right. Brassett listens at door right.
There they go. Dinner's pretty well over now, and they'll all be in here soon enough.
Turning up oil standard lamp up right.
Fancy old Spettigue getting me to come here tonight and butler for him.
Turning up oil lamp up left.
I suppose he's too mean to have a butler of his own. Well, all I can say is, it's simply marvellous the way his lordship's kept it up. He's played the perfect lady something wonderful.
Loud laughter and talking off left.
Hello, what's up now?
Listens as before. Voices stop.
Anyhow, if the worst comes to the worst, I've got his lordship's dress clothes with me.
Enter Lord Fancourt quickly right.
Brassett, get me a fly quick. I'm going home.
Goes up centre. Enter Charley and Jack, quickly catch Lord Fancourt and bring him struggling down centre. Jack left of him, Charley right. Brassett exits right, closing doors.
You've been going along all right if you'd only paid more attention to old Spettigue. Why did you bolt from the dinner table like that?
It's so awfully dangerous and unkind of you, you know.
Instead of behaving in a dignified manner as Charley's aunt, here you are going on like some disgraceful old...
Oh, go on. Finish it.
Hands folded as old lady.
Don't spare me.
As a man again.
You can't say I'm drunk anyhow. Or if I am, it's for the want of it.
Now look here, Babs, this game won't do.
Think of the girls and the solemn promise you gave to help us, for their sakes.
Yes, but she wasn't here then.
She? Who?
The little girl.
What little girl?
Miss Delahaye.
What, the girl with Mrs... what's her name, Smythe?
Yes, Mrs. Butterscotch Smythe's niece.
Charley goes to window right.
Well, what of her?
Why, she's the little girl I met at Monte Carlo, and this Butterscotch woman is the woman who took her away. And I'm off.
Bolts up centre.
Stop him, Charley, quick.
Charley turns, stops him, and brings him down centre. Charley goes to door right.
Oh, you've got us into this deuce of a mess.
Well, of all the beastly, ungrateful things to say.
What difference can it make to you now?
Why, I want to talk to her.
Talk to her? What about?
I want to tell her what you fellows have been telling your girls. Hang it! I'm just as much in love as you are.
Charley near door right.
Jack, they'll hear everything.
Was there ever such an idiot?
Turns away in disgust. Lord Fancourt loudly.
No, there never was. Look at me. I'm a disgrace to my sex.
Turns and goes up centre.
Well, if the worst comes to the worst, we'll take the bull by the horns and be done with him.
Lord Fancourt turning, coming down centre, viciously.
You can take the bull by the tail for all I care. And what's more, you can tell those confounded girls of yours to leave off kissing me before her. I won't stand it.
Don't shout, you idiot!
To Charley.
We'll make some excuse. Say she's ill. Put him in a fly and be done with him.
Lord Fancourt goes upright to Charley, venomously.
And Charley, you can make some excuse to Miss Verdun for me.
Jack, jealously going to Lord Fancourt upright centre.
Miss Verdun? What have you got to say to Miss Verdun? Come, out with it.
Haven't I promised to get old Spettigue's consent in writing, you idiot? You're as helpless as a couple of babies. You want your mothers with you.
Makes off up left centre. Voices heard off right.
This way, madam.
They are coming.
Jack, dragging Lord Fancourt back, pushing him onto ottoman right centre.
Here, sit down, quick.
Voices off right. The boys sit. Charley right of Lord Fancourt, Jack left of him. Brassett entering doors right, showing in ladies. Enter Donna-Lucia and Ella right, in full evening dress, carrying long white suede kid gloves. Donna-Lucia carries a fan, Ella smelling salts. All three men rise, but Charley pushes Lord Fancourt down again. Exit Brassett right. Donna-Lucia crossing behind ottoman to centre.
How is your aunt, Mr. Wykeham? We were afraid she might be ill.
Ella following Donna-Lucia to right centre, between Jack and Donna-Lucia.
Yes, is there anything the matter?
Aunt has been a little upset by the heat of the dining room, and that's all.
The heat? I found it rather cold.
Yes, Charley means that. Cold. You see, Donna-Lucia has lived so long in a warm climate.
Donna-Lucia turns away to hide her amusement, and sits right end of Chesterfield, down left. Ella giving Jack Donna-Lucia's smelling salts.
Won't you try Auntie's smelling salts? They're so good.
Lord Fancourt stares studiedly at Ella.
Thank you.
Ella crosses behind Chesterfield and sits left of Donna-Lucia.
She's often like this, isn't she, Charley?
Jack shoves smelling salt bottle under Lord Fancourt's nose. Lord Fancourt sneezes with violence of the smelling salts. Enter Amy, followed by Kitty, right. Kitty shuts door and joins Amy centre. Amy coming to centre.
I hope Donna-Lucia is all right.
Kitty, right centre.
Yes, is she?
Between Jack and Amy.
Oh, yes. Mr. Chesney says she is all right now.
Kitty to Jack.
We'll go and tell Mr. Spettigue. He's most anxious, and leave her with us.
Takes smelling salts from Jack and goes up to French windows, placing salts on table right. Then stands in the moonlight on the terrace.
Yes, we'll look after her now.
Joins Kitty up centre, on terrace by window centre. Exeunt Jack and Charley right, after shaking fists at Lord Fancourt in a warning manner. Lord Fancourt, seeing Jack and Charley going.
I say, you fellows, don't leave me like this.
Aside.
Here's a deuce of a position.
Looking towards ladies.
I wonder what they'll talk about. I hope they'll be careful before me.
Enter Brassett right, with coffee, cream, and sugar. Ella to Donna-Lucia.
I wonder who she really is, Auntie.
Oh, some old thing they got after receiving my telegram.
Brassett offers coffee to Donna-Lucia, which she accepts. Ella shakes her head in refusal. Brassett then goes to Kitty and Amy, centre. Each take a cup. Ella, after Brassett moves away.
Say something to her, Auntie. I'd like to hear her talk.
I would, my dear, but look at her. If I thought they intended that to be like me, I'd never forgive them.
Brassett crosses to Donna-Lucia and Ella. Both refuse cream. He goes straight to Kitty and Amy, up right. Loud laughter off right. Lord Fancourt aside.
Hark at the silly fools.
Brassett comes down right of Lord Fancourt with coffee. They look at each other and smile.
I say, Brassett, what's the story?
Lord Fancourt looks alarmed. Lord Fancourt aside in terror.
That's just what I expected.
That Don Pedro was very fond of telling.
Lord Fancourt aside in terror.
I must put a stop to this.
Aloud.
Won't one of the young ladies play something, please?
Donna Lucia to Ella.
How rude of her to interrupt like that.
Oh, she couldn't have heard you, Auntie.
Oh, do tell us, Mrs. Beverley Smythe.
Yes, anything about Don Pedro would be so interesting. Do tell us.
But perhaps Donna Lucia would prefer to tell Don Pedro's story herself.
Don Pedro?
Donna Lucia, mischievously.
Your late husband, you know. Don Pedro d'Alvadorez.
Oh, yes, of course. I know his name, but I don't remember his stories. I don't hold with such frivolity.
Aside.
It's too bad of those fellows.
Ella, aside to Donna Lucia.
Auntie, don't tease her so. Tell the story yourself.
Well, Don Pedro, who was the kindest soul in all the world, but...
To Lord Fancourt.
Will Donna Lucia give me permission?
Kitty, crossing to left of Lord Fancourt.
Oh, you won't mind Mrs. Beverley Smythe telling the story, will you?
Amy, crossing to right of Lord Fancourt.
And you'll listen, won't you?
Lord Fancourt resignedly.
Well, if I must, I must.
Turning towards Donna Lucia. Kitty arranges cushions for him.
Well, as I said before, Don Pedro, who was the kindest soul in all the world, once found one of his cellarmen.
Lord Fancourt looks uneasy.
Tipsy. Very tipsy.
Tut, tut.
So Don Pedro, whom the man did not recognize...
Why, was Don Pedro tipsy?
No, the man, Donna Lucia.
The man was tipsy.
Don Pedro was, of course, most abstemious. That is what makes the point of the story.
Oh, does it?
So Don Pedro said to the man, "What would Don Pedro say if he saw you like this?"
Tipsy? Like this?
Yes.
And what did the man say?
The man said, and that's where it's so funny.
Oh, is that where we laugh?
No.
The man said, "Oh, that's all right. Don Pedro's often like this."
Lord Fancourt, blankly.
Tipsy?
Yes.
General laughter, except Lord Fancourt. Amy and Kitty go up centre. Lord Fancourt aside, surprised.
Well, of all the demned silly stories.
Suddenly collapses with laughter. To Donna Lucia.
Oh, what was the man's name?
Really, I don't know the man's name.
Oh, that's a pity.
Donna Lucia getting her own back.
But don't you remember the story? It was a favourite one of Don Pedro's.
Oh, perfectly. I shrieked when I heard it first.
Forgetting himself, pulling up knees of trousers through his skirt.
I say, that reminds me of a very funny story.
Kitty and Amy come down left of Lord Fancourt. They must not see trouser business. Both turn to Lord Fancourt on the words, funny story. Lord Fancourt sees girls, recollecting himself.
Won't one of the young ladies play something, please?
Kitty, centre.
Oh, I'm so out of practice. You sing something, Amy.
Amy, between Lord Fancourt and Kitty.
Oh, I can't. I know nothing new.
Sing that charming little ballad, Ta-ra-ra-boom-de-yay.
I'm afraid I can't, Donna Lucia.
Donna Lucia to Lord Fancourt.
Won't you sing something for us, Donna Lucia?
Me?
Yes, one of those charming little Brazilian songs I've heard Don Pedro was so fond of.
Oh, no, I haven't sung since I had the measles.
Kitty turns up stage to hide laughter. Amy joins her. Donna Lucia, aside to Ella.
What?
Over 40 years ago.
Donna Lucia, aside to Ella.
Another libel. I was the merest infant.
But I play a little.
Kitty gets a music stool ready for Lord Fancourt to sit on, and remains standing above piano. Amy goes right centre. Lord Fancourt rising, aside.
That's a good idea. I shan't have to talk, and I can drown their conversation.
Crossing towards piano centre. Donna Lucia to Lord Fancourt as he is crossing centre.
I hope you've quite recovered from the shock my niece gave you today.
Oh, yes. I was a little upset, wasn't I? I suffer so much from giddiness. Were you ever giddy?
Donna Lucia, mock indignantly.
Never.
I was.
Going up to piano.
What shall I play? A little Beethoven or Bluebells of Scotland?
Lord Fancourt plays 5-finger exercise C to G and back, then quickly strikes B twice, 2 octaves higher.
Do you know that?
Then starts to play something softly. If the actor who plays Lord Fancourt cannot play the piano, he can play chopsticks here. After a bar or two of music, Spettigue off right.
Come along, my dear friends, come along.
Kitty, aside to Lord Fancourt while he is playing.
Here they are. Now don't forget the letter.
Oh no, I won't forget.
Kitty going to Amy up right centre.
Let's get them all out into the garden and leave her alone with Mr. Spettigue.
Enter Spettigue, Sir Francis, Jack, and Charley, all in full evening dress, followed by Brassett, also evening dress. He stands by door with empty tray. Spettigue comes down centre, stands as though entranced by music. Jack stands left of Charley down right centre, by ottoman. Sir Francis joins Kitty and Amy up right centre. Brassett takes 2 empty cups from small table up right centre. Spettigue, during last 4 bars of music, moves to Lord Fancourt centre.
Charming, charming.
Lord Fancourt stops playing, twirls round on stool, and almost overbalances. Spettigue saves him from falling. Then Lord Fancourt sits staring at Ella on sofa left.
Bring the cigars, Brassett. Unless the ladies...
To Donna Lucia.
Miss Beverly Smith?
To Lord Fancourt.
Donna Lucia, do you object to...
Lord Fancourt, without thinking, using deep voice.
Smoking? Oh no, I like it.
Pulling himself up and using lighter voice.
It kills the insects and things.
Sits staring at Ella again. Exit Brassett right. Charley down right.
Look at him, Jack.
What's he doing?
Staring at her like he did all through dinner.
The fool!
Brassett re-enters right with cigars, cigar cutters, matches on salver. He places them on table up right centre and exits right with salver. Spettigue centre, aside.
I must make an opportunity to see her alone.
Aloud.
It's a sweet evening. Perhaps some of you may care to enjoy a cigar in the garden.
No, thank you, sir.
It's a sweet evening.
Goes up centre, stands behind piano. Sir Francis, with back to audience, up right centre, facing girls.
You've been enjoying yourselves capitally, Miss Verdun. We heard the music.
Kitty to Sir Francis.
Yes, Donna Lucia has been playing for us.
Spettigue, leaning over piano. To Lord Fancourt.
How charming of you, Donna Lucia.
To Charley.
What should we have done without your dear aunt, Charley?
Charley, in hollow tone. Jack, aside to Charley.
Don't groan like that, you idiot.
Going centre, to right of Lord Fancourt.
Are you fond of music, Mr. Spettigue?
Charley joins Amy, up right centre. Spettigue to Lord Fancourt, with a look.
I hope to be.
Lord Fancourt puts his hand on top of piano. Spettigue covers it with his own. Lord Fancourt, drawing hand away, slaps Spettigue's hand with it.
Why? Are you going to take lessons?
Spettigue goes behind settee down left, and talks to Donna Lucia and Ella. Lord Fancourt, aside to Jack.
What's he looking at me like that for? Like a boiled owl?
Jack, taking Sir Francis's left arm and bringing him down centre.
Dad, I'm glad you know about Kitty now. She's a splendid girl, isn't she?
Kitty crosses to Lord Fancourt.
I like her very much, I must say, Jack.
You've taken a load off my mind, Dad. I thought I was quite without means.
Not altogether, my boy. And you've thought this matter well over?
Night and day, Dad, ever since I first met her.
Charley goes down right.
It's a serious step, you know.
Going down right with Jack.
A serious step.
Jack joins Charley down right. Kitty at piano to Lord Fancourt.
Now don't forget, in writing.
Goes to Amy, aside.
Amy, let's get them all out into the garden. You take Charley.
Goes down right to Jack. Jack aside right to Charley.
I'm glad I told the Dad now.
Sir Francis joins Amy upright. Spettigue joins Lord Fancourt above piano. Kitty sits on ottoman. Jack stands right of her. Charley joins Amy upright center. Spettigue, leaning across piano, to Lord Fancourt.
But why won't you listen to reason?
Of course I'll listen to reason. But where is the letter?
Spettigue recollecting, but without interest.
Ah, I remember. I've not written it yet.
Not yet.
Swings round on revolving stool to right, ending back to audience. Sir Francis goes to French window centre and looks off. Spettigue, spoonily.
We must find an opportunity to talk it over, alone.
That will be nice.
Swings back again left, turns, ending facing Spettigue, each a 3/4 turn. Spettigue and Lord Fancourt continue talking together. Sir Francis crosses and stands behind piano up left. Amy to Charley, upstage centre.
But, Charley, why are you so depressing? We ought to be very happy today.
Amy, great joy sometimes bring a sort of reaction. I shall be better tomorrow.
With a look at Lord Fancourt.
Oh, come into the garden.
Exeunt Charley and Amy, right centre, window to right. Spettigue crosses the table up right centre. Ella goes up behind piano to window centre. Lord Fancourt watching her. She turns and smiles to him, and exits immediately off centre to left. Sir Francis drops down left behind sofa to Donna-Lucia. Jack aside to Kitty.
I've told the Dad blank out, and he's delighted. But, Kitty, you won't regret turning you back on society and the row
And the stifling hollowness of my own Monday and everybody else's rest of the week, and have something real to think about? Jack, the vista is too heavenly.
Rises.
Come into the garden.
Jack and Kitty go up centre. Spettigue up right to Jack.
It's a sweet evening. Perhaps you'd like a cigar, Jack?
Offers cigar to Jack.
No, thank you, sir.
It's a sweet evening.
Exeunt Jack and Kitty centre, window to right. Spettigue goes down right. Lord Fancourt starts to play again softly. Note: Lord Fancourt to play here only if he plays well. Nothing should be played to get a laugh or to guy Sir Francis and Donna-Lucia's exit. Sir Francis, going right of sofa.
Shall we join them?
Yes, it's a charity to leave those two people alone.
Indeed? Why?
Donna-Lucia, rising.
Only a little matchmaking mischief, that's all.
Sir Francis, following Donna-Lucia, between her and Lord Fancourt at piano.
On Spettigue's account?
Donna-Lucia, slyly.
No, on Donna-Lucia's.
Donna-Lucia and Sir Francis exeunt window centre to left. Spettigue goes to window, watches them off. Lord Fancourt rises and hides behind piano.
They've gone.
Turns, finds Lord Fancourt gone.
Lucia!
Coming down centre.
They've gone.
Spettigue looks about, astonished. Goes towards door right. Lord Fancourt strikes top note sharply on piano, and retires quickly. Spettigue turns. Lord Fancourt bobs up from behind piano. Lord Fancourt points playfully at Spettigue.
Aha!
Spettigue sees Lord Fancourt.
Ah, there you are. Lucia, how I have longed for this moment.
Comes to centre of piano. Lord Fancourt behind piano, treble end, aside.
Oh, he's at it again.
Goes upstage to bass.
Lucia, I must speak to you.
No, I am very angry with you.
Puts hand on top of piano.
Lucia, You wound me. Don't say that.
Moves to base. Pats Lord Fancourt's hand. Lord Fancourt snatches it away. Lord Fancourt dodges to treble.
But I do say that. After the promise you made me, to treat me like this.
Unconsciously puts hand on piano top again.
Promise?
The consent you promised in writing.
Spettigue going to treble.
Lucia, how can you, when we have so much to say that more nearly concerns ourselves?
Pats Lord Fancourt's hand lying on piano. Lord Fancourt pulls hand away and smacks Spettigue's hand. Spettigue goes right center, rubbing hand.
No, we have not.
Coming left center.
You don't know me. I'm no ordinary woman.
Spettigue coming center.
Lucia, I beg of you to listen to me.
I'll listen to you with pleasure, but where is the letter you promised me?
Will you hear me, Lucia?
Lord Fancourt, getting rather annoyed and bored.
I'll hear you with pleasure.
Going up center to right.
But why won't you give me the letter?
Spettigue crossing left.
Lucia, do I deserve this?
Lord Fancourt coming down right. Aside to right.
He deserves 6 months, the old idiot.
Lucia, you are a puzzle, an enigma.
Lord Fancourt crossing to Spettigue, left center.
How dare you! Until you give me the letter, all is over between us.
Lucia, that decides me. I go to my room.
Casually.
A brief note.
Lord Fancourt, pointedly.
With full consent and signed, don't forget.
Spettigue at left entrance.
Then say you will be mine?
I'll say anything you like. Only don't be too long in the study.
Spettigue at door left, kissing hand.
Darling!
Exits left. Lord Fancourt center.
That's all right.
With surprise and amusement. Facing audience.
I say, what devils we women are.
Goes up to window center.
It's too bad of those fellows.
Going to piano, turns, leaning against it.
Why, I shall be an old woman for the rest of my life. I haven't had a drink or a smoke all day.
Catches sight of cigar box on table right, crossing quickly.
By George, here's a find.
Looking towards door left.
I wonder how long he'll be. Hanged if I don't chance it.
Lights cigar with match which he strikes on his boot. Comes down stage center. Puffs vigorously.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Puffs. Enter Donna Lucia with Ella right of her. Through left center window, from left. Donna Lucia sees Lord Fancourt smoking. Aside to Ella.
She's smoking.
Aloud. Comes down left side of him. Ella comes down right of Lord Fancourt. He is startled. Draws in a large mouthful of smoke, then hides cigar in placket hole, holding lighted end reversed in palm of right hand. Mouth full of smoke. Looks from Donna Lucia to Ella, and then straight ahead in agony, holding smoke first in opposite cheek to each one he looks at, then in both cheeks, screwing up eyes, almost bursting. Ella, this must be spoken through ensuing laughter, or Lord Fancourt would burst. Rapidly.
Auntie, did you find it chilly?
Oh, yes, my dear. I thought I'd get a wrap of some kind.
I'll go upstairs and get you something. I know where your things are.
Goes to door, turns, looks at Lord Fancourt, and exits right. Lord Fancourt looks after her. Blows out smoke, and tries to wave it away.
Are you alone?
Lord Fancourt comes center.
Yes, I'm all alone. And so sad.
Oh, dear me.
Sniffing smoke, crosses down right.
What a dreadful smell of smoke.
Secretly much amused.
Yes, I notice it myself.
Going quickly upstage, takes cigar out of placket hole, and unseen, changes it into left hand.
I'll go and find out who it is.
Donna Lucia going up right center.
No, don't go.
Lord Fancourt turns, holding cigar behind his back.
I wanted to talk to you.
Lord Fancourt amiably.
Yes?
Comes down left center, cigar behind back.
About your late husband, Don Pedro.
Oh, that will be nice.
Do you know, when I met Dom Pedro, he told me he had no wife.
Oh, the wicked storyteller. Ah, but he was a cruel husband.
The Dom Pedro I knew was noble, kind, and gentle.
That was his father, the old gentleman with the white moustache.
Donna Lucia, aside, behind her fan, turning away.
I never knew such effrontery.
Returning center, aloud.
Do you know, Donna Lucia, I'm surprised you don't indulge in the habit of smoking. So many Brazilian ladies do, you know.
Well, to tell you the truth, that's just what I was doing when you came in.
Shows cigar in left hand.
Then, pray, don't let me interrupt you.
Lord Fancourt smokes. Aside.
I shouldn't have been surprised at a pipe.
Lord Fancourt stops smoking.
Can I offer you one?
No, thanks.
Both turn, but Lord Fancourt kicks his skirt out of the way in turning. They go up center together. Donna Lucia fans herself with left hand. Lord Fancourt does the same with right hand.
You see...
Turning and taking his arm. Both stop fanning. Coming down center.
Not being a Brazilian lady, it might be thought strange.
Letting go his arm. Lord Fancourt, hopefully.
Will you have a drink of any kind?
No, thanks. Oh, Donna Lucia, pardon my curiosity, but have you any children?
Lord Fancourt, taken off his guard, can't remember what he'd been told.
Only a few. None to speak of.
Donna Lucia goes up right center. Lord Fancourt goes down left. Re-enter Ella right, with wrap.
Here's your wrap, Auntie.
Puts it on Donna Lucia's shoulders. Lord Fancourt puts cigar and coffee cup on piano.
Thank you, dear. I am going into the garden. I fancy Sir Francis has something to say to me.
Going up center.
And as it's rather chilly...
Turning at window.
Perhaps you'd better stay in.
Exit center to left. Lord Fancourt steals a look at Ella about to exit. Goes slowly to window left center. Ella, up center, coming down behind ottoman, right center. Quickly, aside.
Auntie said we weren't to hint about our knowing she's not Auntie. I'm sure she's only doing it to oblige them.
Turns, sees Lord Fancourt about to exit window left center. Going up center to Lord Fancourt. Aloud.
Oh, don't go. Please.
Lord Fancourt turns.
I was going into the garden.
Ella, right of Lord Fancourt.
It has turned quite chilly. Auntie sent me in from the garden because of that.
Lord Fancourt, concerned.
Can I get you a wrap of any kind?
Movement towards door right. Ella, stopping Lord Fancourt.
No, thank you. Auntie thinks I'm better here. I've been ill, you know.
Oh, but I didn't know.
Oh, I'm all right now, of course, if I take care.
Lord Fancourt, seriously.
Yes, you must take great care.
Ella, taking Lord Fancourt's right arm, and going slowly down to ottoman right center.
Auntie, I fancy, is more particular than usual this evening.
Helping Lord Fancourt to ottoman, puts cushion behind his back.
For you know...
Quick look to left.
Years ago, she and Sir Francis...
Kneels left of Lord Fancourt.
Were...
Whispering.
Sweethearts.
Were they?
But he went away without telling her he was ever and ever so fond of her. Auntie says he was shy, and he went away without knowing that she was ever and ever so fond of him. But the noblest man I ever knew was shy, and oh, so kind.
With a look round.
He got to know how Papa had become so ill and so poor, and lost a large sum of money to him at cards. Auntie thinks on purpose. I often wondered why they played cards, and Papa so ill too. But when I asked the doctor if it wasn't doing harm, he said not the game that was being played.
A little pause.
But I've got all the money, and if ever we meet, I mean to give it back.
Lord Fancourt, quietly.
Oh no, you must never think of doing that. It would be like accusing him of a sort of cheating, you know.
But it was so much. Enough, Auntie says, to make me independent for life.
And do you think he'd take it back if he knew that?
Ella, simply.
Oh, but I should feel it my duty.
Lord Fancourt, thankfully, smiling kindly.
It's too late now.
But he went away before I had time to tell him how much I...
In a low voice.
Loved him. For...
Rising.
For his kindness to my poor father.
Moves up center. Lord Fancourt rises quietly and goes round right of ottoman up to right center. Ella, turning, to Lord Fancourt.
You don't mind my telling you all this, do you? I don't know why, but I like to talk to you.
Putting her hand on his arm.
I like you.
Goes to window left center, turning.
And I do so long to see him again.
Exit left center, to left. Lord Fancourt watches Ella off, then goes to ottoman down right and punches cushion twice, vigorously. After cushion business, re-enter Spettigue with letter, left.
Lucia!
Lord Fancourt coming center.
Have you got the letter?
Spettigue shows letter. Lord Fancourt tries to snatch it. Spettigue holds it out of his reach.
Yes, here is the letter. But first, make my happiness complete. Say that from this blissful moment we are engaged?
We are engaged.
Lord Fancourt gets the letter.
Got it. We are engaged.
Going to door right.
Darling.
Lord Fancourt turning.
Mr. Spettigue?
Call me Stephen.
Lord Fancourt reading letter.
Is this the letter, Stephen?
Yes, that is the letter. And we are betrothed?
Lord Fancourt at door right.
We are betrothed, darling.
Quick exit right. Enter Sir Francis and Donna Lucia, center, window from left. Spettigue going up to center opening, shaking Sir Francis by both hands.
Ah, Mrs. Beverley Smith. Sir Francis, congratulate me, congratulate me.
Going up to right center window. Sir Francis looks puzzled. Donna Lucia coming down right, aside.
I knew it.
Spettigue in center window, turning.
I'm the happiest man in the world. But where are the dear children? This must be a day of happiness and rejoicing for us all, for us all.
Exit center to right. Sir Francis coming down center, taking Donna Lucia's wrap off and placing it on back of ottoman.
What on earth does he mean? What's all this excitement about?
Donna Lucia sits on ottoman, right center.
Can't you guess?
No.
Didn't I tell you what would happen if we left them alone?
Huh?
Don't you understand? She's accepted him.
What?
Donna Lucia, dryly.
Yes, Donna Lucia D'Alvadorez.
Sits on ottoman.
You don't mean that?
I fancy he'll find out his mistake before long.
Sir Francis, half aside.
By George, what a fool I've been.
Why? Are you sorry?
Sir Francis, right center.
No, but that rascal of a boy of mine made some sort of a stupid suggestion that I should...
That you should offer your hand and heart to Donna Lucia D'Alvadorez, from Brazil, where the nuts come from.
When I think of what a fool I was, might have been, should have been.
Then you don't envy him.
Envy him?
Coming to her right.
But think of her millions.
Ah, Lucy, when I saw your face...
You didn't recognize it.
No, but when I did... But I told you all that in the garden just now. And you'll be content for a while with a cottage and your old sweetheart?
And you? You would take me, a penniless widow?
Nothing could make me happier.
Donna Lucia gives him her hand.
Frank.
Sir Francis, taking her hand.
Lucy.
A little pause. Donna Lucia smiles.
Why, what are you smiling at?
I was only thinking of
what?
Of Donna Lucia D'Alvadorez.
Enter Ella, left center, window from left.
Well, she's a quaint little figure, I must own.
Goes up right center, to right window. Ella coming down to Donna Lucia, right.
Auntie, did you find the air chilly?
I didn't notice, my love.
Auntie, how pretty you look tonight.
With look to Sir Francis, whispering.
Has Sir Francis...
Shh. Ella kisses Donna Lucia and sits on ottoman left of her. Sir Francis comes down right and sits on chair below door right. Spettigue off.
Come along, my dear children.
Entering.
Come along.
Enter Spettigue, right center window, followed by Kitty and Amy, Jack, and Charley. Brassett enters door right, carrying salver. Goes up right center. Charley up center, Jack left of him. Spettigue coming down to front of sofa, left center.
Kitty, you sit there.
Indicating piano stool.
Amy there.
Stands right center by Ella.
I have something to tell you. Something you will all be very pleased to hear.
Looking round.
But where is Donna Lucia?
General movement. No one answers. Then Brassett steps forward. Brassett in front of small table, up right center.
Donna Lucia's gone to her room, I fancy.
Steps back again.
Ah, perhaps it's just as well. Now, before she returns, I have a little secret to tell you.
All exchange glances.
A secret?
A secret?
Oh, really?
A secret? Oh, really?
Oh,
A secret? Oh, really? What is it?
Spettigue cutting in, rather louder to gain attention.
I am sure you will pardon me if I ask your attention for a few moments.
Charley aside to Jack, quick and low.
Good gracious, Jack. What he's going to say?
How do I know till he said it?
Situated as I am, a lonely widower, a mateless uncle, surrounded with grave responsibilities. My ward,
indicating Kitty.
My niece,
indicating Amy.
A good fairy has, I may say, tripped in among us, bringing with her unexpected light and joy.
Charley, aside rapidly to Jack.
Who does he mean?
Shut up.
Under her influence, I have consented to the engagement of my niece to a gentleman in whose honour and probity I have the fullest confidence, Mr. Charles Wykeham.
Charley goes to Amy right center and takes her hand.
Charley, how sweet of your dear aunt.
Furthermore, charmed by irresistible spells, I have consented to the union of my ward with John, only son of my friend, Sir Francis Chesney.
Jack goes to Kitty. Spettigue pointing to Carnation in his coat.
Ah, Sir Francis.
Sir Francis laughs.
But what will you say to a third engagement?
Charley returns center to Jack. They look at him breathlessly.
A third?
A third?
A third?
What?
What?
Our good fairy, nay, let me add without further metaphor,
rather pompously,
one whose name is honoured in the southwestern hemisphere as that of Rothschild is in Europe,
self-conscious and rather smug,
has consented to become Mrs. Stephen Spettigue.
Kitty rises.
I allude to our dear friend, Donna Lucia D'Alvadorez.
Brassett right center, holding empty tray behind his back, knocks it against table, and it falls with a loud clatter onto the floor. General movement of surprise. Everyone starts. Charley joins Jack, up left center, leaving Brassett in full view. Spettigue, furious.
What is that?
Brassett, looking helplessly right and left, and nervously shooting first one cuff and then the other.
Beg pardon, sir. The tray, sir.
Kitty pushes music stool under piano and goes to back of sofa. Spettigue shouting.
Be more careful, Brassett.
Brassett picks up tray. Amy coming forward, conciliatingly.
Uncle?
Spettigue more quietly.
Be more careful.
Resuming speech.
Nothing could please me more than...
Charley breaking forward, wildly, coming down centre to Spettigue.
Mr. Spettigue, I can listen to this ghastly farrago no longer.
Mr. Wykeham, sir, what do you mean?
I say, sir, and I don't care what the result may be, I can listen to this ghastly...
Spettigue, loftily, breaking in.
I presume, sir, in espousing my niece...
Charley, wildly, cutting in.
I won't espouse her.
Consternation and general excitement. Amy turns away, goes upright.
Under these false and lying pretences.
Donna Lucia smiles.
That woman...
Do you allude in such a manner to...
I say that woman...
I must beg of you to speak with more respect of your aunt.
She is not my aunt.
Donna Lucia rises, followed by Ella, and goes up centre, watching the following scene from there. Sir Francis goes round back of ottoman to top end of piano. Brassett goes to door right.
Not your aunt? What do you mean?
I love Amy far too sincerely to...
Never mind that, sir. Explain your words.
Jack coming forward.
Mr. Spettigue, will you allow me to say that the blame is mine, and let me explain?
I am addressing this person.
To Charley.
Answer me, sir. Explain your words.
Brassett at door. Aside.
I must tell his lordship of this.
Exit right.
At the last moment this morning, my aunt, on whose account we have invited Miss Verdun, and Miss Spettigue telegraphed to say she couldn't come. The ladies arrived, and we...
Jack helping Charley out.
And I, sir, prevailed upon another person to,
To personate her?
Crossing right, below ottoman.
I've been treacherously, infamously deceived.
Charley crossing right centre to Spettigue.
That was not our intention, sir.
Spettigue turning, furious.
Don't lie to me, sir.
Charley goes up right centre, to right of Amy, who turns away from him. He stands above door, right. Jack trying to calm Spettigue.
I beg your pardon, sir, you forget. You were not expected.
Spettigue below door, right.
A frump like that, with a wig?
Well, you can't blame her for that.
Joins Kitty behind sofa, down left. Lord Fancourt, off.
May I come in?
Anxious looks from Jack and Charley to door, right. Spettigue savagely.
Turn that woman out of my house!
Enter Lord Fancourt in evening dress, right. General movement of surprise. Kitty goes to end of sofa. Lord Fancourt coming centre.
I say, may I come in?
Turn that woman out of...
Turning, sees Lord Fancourt. Breathlessly.
Who are you, sir?
Lord Fancourt, right centre, holding hands in front of him like an old lady.
I'm Charley's aunt from Brazil, where the nuts come from.
Kitty goes to front of sofa. Jack going centre, aside to Lord Fancourt.
Fancourt Babberley, you duffer!
Goes above sofa left to Kitty. Lord Fancourt to Spettigue.
Fancourt Babberley, I beg your pardon.
Ella, aside to Donna Lucia.
Auntie! And I told him everything.
They go out centre window for a minute. Spettigue still furious.
What does this mean, sir?
Donna Lucia returns centre, Ella by top end of piano. Lord Fancourt to Spettigue.
It means that we've all done very wrong, and we're all extremely sorry, and tender you our humblest apologies. My apologies, I should say, for if I hadn't offered the temptation, the whole thing would never have occurred.
Ella moves quietly down left to front of piano stool.
And if Mr. Spettigue will allow us to add our apologies...
And say we have no words to express our contrition.
Spettigue raging.
It's infamous! Infamous! But where is the document obtained from me under these fraudulent pretenses?
Oh, the letter. I have the letter.
Produces it from inside breast pocket of dress coat. Kitty below sofa.
It's mine, mine.
Give it to me.
Seeing Kitty's anxiety.
Miss Verdun.
To Lord Fancourt.
Sir, I demand it.
Coming forward to take it. Lord Fancourt holds up letter in left hand. Donna Lucia down centre, interposing.
Allow me.
Takes letter.
I shall dispute it. Under her father's will, I shall dispute it.
This letter is addressed and has been delivered to Donna-LUCIA D'ALVADOREZ.
But she...
Catching Lord Fancourt's eye.
He is not Donna-LUCIA D'ALVADOREZ.
No, but I am.
You?
You? Lucy.
General movement of surprise and exclamation. Kitty sits on sofa. Donna Lucia joins Sir Francis up left centre by piano. Charley, tiny pause. Quick gasp.
My aunt!
Said unconsciously, like the slang expression.
You will pardon me if I retire.
Goes below ottoman to door, right. Turning to Lord Fancourt.
As for you, sir, I shall inquire from the authorities, your college, in the morning.
Opens doors, about to exit. Stops. Takes out buttonhole, and throws it centre. Exits right. Lord Fancourt catches Carnation, and goes to door right. Lord Fancourt, turning, grabs Charley's right arm.
Charley, can you have me up for breach of promise?
Amy, up centre, coming forward. Indignantly to Charley.
Charley!
Stamping foot.
Mr. Wickham, how dare you? I'll never forgive you. I'll never forgive any of you for treating Uncle Stephen like that.
Turns to exit through window. Donna Lucia, centre. Stopping Amy, taking her hand.
Be patient with us, my dear. Your uncle shall have the most profound reparation my influence can make. For my own part...
To Sir Francis.
I only shared in the deception when I found...
To Lord Fancourt.
Another lady established in my place.
Lord Fancourt to Charley.
No wonder she knew all about my late husband.
Donna Lucia hands Amy over to Charley. All talk together.
Well, I'm as sorry as anyone, but I'd trust Jack with my life.
Donna Lucia, coming down to left centre.
Indeed. Then he must wait till I'm his mother.
Charley and Amy go down right. Amy sits on ottoman. Charley stands left of her. Jack, turning to Donna Lucia.
Mother?
Sir Francis, coming down centre to right of Donna Lucia.
Yes, Donna Lucia, in deceiving me as much as anybody, has, however, done me the honour to recollect an old affection, and has promised to assume that authority, so look out, Jack.
Sir Francis retires above piano. Jack sits on sofa right of Kitty. Ella moves down to top end of piano. Donna Lucia, centre, to Lord Fancourt.
Lord Fancourt Babberley.
Lord Fancourt comes centre to right of Donna Lucia.
I am afraid you have gained one confidence that nothing could excuse.
I know, and I reproach myself beyond expression.
Looking at Ella.
But I wouldn't part with the memory of that confidence to save my life. And if Miss Delahaye will allow me to say so, I am willing to atone for it, with a lifelong devotion.
Donna Lucia looks at Ella, then holds out left hand to her. Ella, smiling, puts hers in Donna Lucia's.
Auntie!
Donna Lucia hands her across to Lord Fancourt. Lord Fancourt takes Ella's left hand and tucks it in his arm, and as they turn to go up centre, Lord Fancourt kicks the front of Charley's leg with his instep as he passes. Charley limps around behind ottoman to right of Amy. Donna Lucia, turning to Jack.
Now, where is my son?
Jack, rising.
Here, Mamma.
I shall have to talk to you very seriously before I give you this.
Shows letter. Jack sits again. Donna Lucia, turning to Charley, centre.
Charley, I'll never forgive you if you deceive that sweet girl again.
To Lord Fancourt.
And as for you, sir...
Orchestra starts to play curtain music, very softly, as in Acts 1 and 2. Lord Fancourt, coming down centre, with Ella on his arm.
Oh no, never again. I give you my word. I'll give you the clothes if you like. I've done with them. Miss Delahaye has consented to think me over as a husband, and in future I resign to Sir Francis Chesney.
Sir Francis has come down between Donna Lucia and piano during last speech.
All claims to Charley's aunt.
Music swells to forte. Curtain. End of Act 3. End of Charley's Aunt by Brandon Thomas.